Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to One Hub Racing. It's the penultimate ACC race, and it is another Belgian beauty being rolled out this evening as we visit a very, very happy hunting ground for myself, and another track much like Hungary last week. Qualifying and pit stops could be all important here at Zolder. Dating back to the early 60s, this 2.5 mile unbelievably technical circuit is a minefield for drivers attempting overtakes, where there are again invitations to do so all around the track, but very few places where you can actually make it stick. We've got the three crazy chicanes, and of course a turn 1 and 2 complex that is sure to see action tonight. And of course, overseeing the action and keeping me in check and on the ball, it's F1 superstar and broadcasting phenomenon, that is Jessica Ball. How are we doing this evening, Jess?
Good evening, John. Good evening, everybody. We just can't get enough of Belgium, can we?
Indeed.
After the delays of the real-life Formula One race in Spa, I hope we do not get any delays here. But do not worry, we will have a race. No matter what, we'll still have cars. I know we got a low turnout tonight, which is a bit unfortunate, but the quality of the racing is going to be fantastic. Zolder was Belgium's first purpose-built racetrack and has hosted a variety of different racing series, including 24-hour GT. There's touring cars, Blanchepan GT cars as well, and the Truck Grand Prix, believe it or not. Don't ask me why they did that, but there is an FIA truck series. I don't know. It features the tight chicanes as John sectioned, but there's a few sections of the track that can even catch even the best drivers out. As well as this, they have to contend with. We could have our inaugural One Hub Racing ACC champion being crowned tonight. But more information about if Chicanes can do it a little bit later on. Some of the drivers need a race of their lives tonight if they want to be in the top 3 by the end of the season. Why? Because top 3 means you get some cool prizes and trophies at the end of the season. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Chicanes versus Milden battle carry on. Only 7 drivers out of the 20 that we've got are still mathematically in the title hunt, John.
Yes, indeed they are, and it was Carmentalist that you mentioned there, and Milden. That is the dueling at the top. Those two of them have separated themselves from the rest of the pack, head and shoulders. There's only 6 points between them, and they've been sharing wins back and forward, with Carmentalist now on top. He's got 57 points with SOP. Milden second in the championship, 51 points, and Flying Throne a fair chunk back, almost 20 points back is the gap. So like I say, the difference between Carmentalist and Milden is definitely head and shoulders in the table at the moment, but we certainly shouldn't be counting out a lot of the other drivers that are in there to be taken potentially race wins. Flying Throne, of course, ERT's Dexter and Camo Babo, his teammate, 4th and 5th overall. Only a point separating them, so bragging honours for the teammates there. Art Connor in 6th on 22 points. And Floppy Fox hasn't been in the championship since the start. Hasn't really had the results he would have been hoping for. And I tell you, at Zolder, we could certainly see him surprise a few people up the top and really throw the cat amongst the pigeons. As Jess said, mathematically, there is still 7 people that can win the championship, and Floppy Fox plays a major part in every single calculation you look at. He is definitely worthy of note. As to Khalifa, Gunnar Gamble, a Racing Green, didn't make last week's race. He was talked about before the season as having some serious pace about him. We will see what happens this evening. How will the Audi fare around the 3 chicanes of insanity, as I like to call them? Almost sounds like a Marvel movie. Cablo, Camcomon, Eddie, all have scored points this series. So's Blue Mosquito. Slightly disappointed is Blue Mosquito. He was hoping for a bit better this season. Hasn't had the races he wanted. Still got points on the board though. So does Gazaman, Kyle and Blair Grills. Only key SOP Cool in Pony's Town. Of course, SOP Cool, don't be fooled by his position in the championship. He got a 0-point round because he switched cars. As you can see, he's got no points, but he has been on the podium and he's had a driver of the day as well. So just because he's down there, don't think these last 2 races he won't be trying to get as many points back on the board as he can. Again, throwing the cat amongst the pigeons with the endless list. I don't know who did that spreadsheet, but their Excel must have been an absolute meltdown trying to figure out all the connotations for the 7 drivers that are still in there.
It was Cam. It was Cam
was
that
it
did
Cam?
it.
Ah, well, Cam is a better man than I could be, that's for sure, because, yeah, there's a whole lot of information there. Of course, it all centres around the man who's won the most races. He's in charge so far, top of the heap. It is Car Mentalist, and it all depends on him. Really, to see any big upsets, he would have to finish outside the top 5, I think. But like I say, as Jess was mentioning, there's Khalifa, Floppy Fox, Connor, Camel Babbo, Dex, Dexter, and Froome, all in with a shout of still winning this championship, as is, of course, SOP Milden, who's been the main protagonist. And we're talking about this course, Jess. We mentioned it to him last week, and he did say in the interviews that this was a race he was targeting. The Belgian course, he reckons, was purpose-built for him. Could be the win on tonight.
Yes, and I think some of the drivers as well are hoping to get a good result around Zolder as well. There was one question that was asked that will they be able to cope with the track tonight? Because obviously the last 3 tracks, Hungarian, Belgium and Silverstone, for example, the first 3 tracks actually, F1 race there as well. Zolder's the only track on our ACC calendar where F1 does not race there. And surprisingly, majority of drivers actually raced on ACC before around Zolder. I don't think many people were in the minority there, which was great to see as well. Carmenta was actually saying he thinks he knows about the track to know where the jeopardy is. It's a deceivably difficult circuit and he knows how to get around without any drama. Well, Carmentalist needs no drama here tonight if he wants to basically increase his championship hopes. Cam says, I will add wings to my car and take off at the crest of the hill on the Sacramento Schling, or however you say that. I'm rubbish at pronunciations. Dexter's raced here before as well, so he likes the track. It's narrow and hard to overtake on, but will be fun. Hopefully Dexter has a bit of luck. Dexter got driver of the day last week due to his amazing combat drive. He started 5th, went down to 16th due to an incident with Connor. Connor unfortunately did get penalised for that incident, which dropped him down quite a few places, and that promoted Camo Babbo to 3rd last week, and so Connor missed on the podium. But anyway, Dexter, I think, finished 4th because of those, which was great. Milden's a fan of the track as well. It suits his car, so he hopes for a strong result. And Milden, I think Milden needs to finish 7th or above. And for the last few races, he's finished no lower than that. He's finished higher than that, so he should be fine. Blue Mosquito, people said they know the track, so no advantage. Floppy Fox, do all I can to not die at the chicane. Well, there's plenty of chicanes, Floppy Fox, and there's so many difficult ones. I just hate driving this circuit with a passion because of those chicanes. Connor loves this track. It's one of his favourites on the calendar, but he doesn't expect to have an advantage. Connor's downgrading his expectations. What's going on, Connor? What are you on about? Cool likes this track. It's very challenging and can bring some very good close racing. And we did have some responses from Eddie, but Eddie can't make it this evening, so we just have 14 drivers. We'll go through the other questions in a minute, but it's not nice to have a little bit of a feel on how the drivers are finding this track. But once again, qualifying is even more important.
It really is. It really is. As Jess was saying, they're absolutely vital to get your qualifying done. Overtaking here is very, very difficult, as you can tell, fresh from my exploits on Sunday night when I took pole position in my class. It was the amateurs, I know, but still.
Whoop, whoop.
It's a pole position. I even made up some places in the race. I'm a big boy now.
And you beat the class above you as well. Some of them.
Beat the class above me as well. I actually finished 21st, and from what I can see, there was 26 pros started. So I beat a whole lot of silvers and a whole lot of pros as well. So very, very, very happy indeed. But yeah, we're pointing out it is, of course, Belgium. A phenomenal circuit, and a bit of an anomaly as well, because we're going to see some very interesting traffic build-up tonight. We don't have a full grid, as Jess had mentioned, but the pit stops around here. Not only is qualifying going to be important, your pit stop as well. Now, here is where the anomaly lies. Zolder, very short circuit, 1 minute 29. The gentlemen are lapping, the drivers, are lapping at the moment. Probably going to see someplace slightly quicker than that for qualifying. Someplace around at the 1 minute 30s, we're going to guesstimate for race laps when they're in the full trim. They're going to have to come into the pits for a mandatory pit stop, which includes a tyre change. You're going to spend 68 seconds in the pits, which is an enormous 77% of your lap. Put that in perspective, Spa, you spend 95 seconds in the pits at Spa, but it's only 69% of your lap. So Zolder is one of the shortest circuits on the GT3 calendar, but you do spend a percentage more time in this pit stop than any other track on the calendar, by a fair chunk of it as well. Hungary last week, we saw how important it was. I mean, the pit stop phase, who didn't breathe in when Milden came along the start straight? Car mentalists came out the pits and they were nose to tail once again. Proven qualifying so important on tracks where it's difficult to get an overtake made and to get it to stick. It's one thing getting your nose in front of the car that you're trying to get past, but keeping it there is an entirely different affair. And this track absolutely highlights that beautifully. And with a pit stop that could, I mean, you're spending, like I say, 77% of a lap in the pits. One slight mistake going in and out of your pit box, and we could see massive changes right through the field. And yeah, this track, built way back in the day, 1963 it was built, and as I was just saying there, it's a very, very, very short lap indeed with those three chicanes, as we can see, turn 5, 7 and 10. They are three chicanes, they're completely different, and we'll see that highlighted as we do some laps during the qualifying. In fact, we're out on track as we speak, so let me just get caught up and actually do the same thing. There we go. And that's Car Mentalist, the championship leader we are on board with. He's just coming through turn 4 now. He's going to pop along into the Klein chicane. As you can see, you really want to take a lot of care going through there. The exit, all important. You'll notice the drivers seem to run wide on the exits to go up and over that hill to avoid this, to get as much speed as possible coming into this second chicane. Stay with one chicane, into another chicane again. Really can't get away with using those curves. That's why we're going to see the Bentleys do quite well here. Obviously, Car Mentalist in the McLaren, and we can see him again coming round. This is the hairpin. This is definitely a two-wide situation here. You can get overtakes done here. I've been there, I've done it. It's an awesome corner. And then this little shimmy shake, we just see him come through there, the left to right along this bottom straight. Again, another heavy braking zone. Cut as much curve as you can on the left. Don't cut too much, depending on the car, on that curve on the right, and over the line to finish the lap and into turn 1 he goes. Hard left-hander. Again, this track, if it's highlighted by two things, it's the chicanes and how heavy the braking zones are for such a short, quick track. As you see on board again, coming round that double right-handed complex and back into where we started on board, coming in to chicane number 1. He runs a bit wide there, kicks up a bit much dust as he comes firing, and want to be braking about the 100 metres mark. Now, me personally, I do not touch any part of the chicane, and there we can see the McLaren just glides over the edge of the curve. Doesn't get much of the exit curve, but that's a predominant feature with the middle engine rear wheel drive cars. If we're watching an Aston Martin or a Bentley, especially the Bentleys, even here where we can see him cutting over the second chicane, that curve on the right we just saw him going over, those two red lines, you do not want to touch those either in a middle engine rear wheel drive car. In the Bentley, however, you can tear over that like it's not even there, and the car will not budge an inch. I'll go over it very quickly. Oh, look, there she is. Good evening, Princess. How are you? Sorry, Jess, there's my daughter in the chat. Princess Raven in the house. How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you for tuning in. Congratulations again on passing your first year at college. Ooh, and I got a three-piece. And I got a handmade three-piece suit outfit, which was nice. I was her model for it, so I've got a 16th century doublet and breeches. And Colin's in the chat as well. How we doing, Colin? Looking forward to this one, mate. 7 drivers still in the hunt to win it, Colin. Did you ever imagine it was going to go down to the wire? Well, you didn't have to imagine, because I said at the start of the first programme this championship was going to go down to the wire. I'm waiting on Milden to set a time, impatiently waiting on Milden to set a time, although Car Mentalist is blisteringly quick at the moment, 29.17 tenths ahead of the rest of the field already. Expect those times to get a little bit closer. I think Car Mentalist is definitely more than capable of getting into low 28s around here. Milden's just coming through sector 2 at the moment. There he goes across the timing board into the hairpin. Well, it certainly is. As close to him as he goes. Has a bit of a wiggle on the way out. He needs to get himself a banker lap set, though. He's got another Bentley just in front of him. Pools out of the way. That's Ponage Town, of course. Here he comes into the last corner. And there, I think you can see it just, rides over those curbs like they're non-existent in that Bentley. Does not even flinch the bolt lace. First time on the board for Milden. And it is within half a second. But Art Connor has positioned himself between the top two at the moment. So he's holding on to that front row position. Let's see what type of... I'm going to keep an eye on Milden's lap time here. He's a 10th.5 up at the moment. And yeah, it's a really, really, really quick track. 29.6 for Milden at the moment. And he's carrying 2 tenths into the first chicane. It's 2.5 tenths, 3 tenths. Boom, blisters over that exit curve. Honestly, it's almost like a cheat car. It's almost like a cheat car. Runs wide through 6 beautifully, pulls it back in for the second chicane. Over curve 1, over curve 2. Watch this curve on the right here. Oh, he stays away from the red then. Looking for a balanced lap here. He did drop a bit of time through the chicane. He's going to finish sector 2. Up a 10th.5. That'll move him to well within striking distance of Art Connor. Although they've all been overtaken by Gunnar Gamble and Flying Frome then. So it is getting very close at the top there. Look at Gunnar Gamble's time, Jess. That's half a tenth. He is behind Car Mentalist. And I'll tell you what.
Half a tenth, you mean 400s?
400s, yeah. Oh, boom, there we go. And Milden's just clocked himself a quicker time as well. That's going to be very close.
I'm liking this.
10.5. Oh, this is seriously getting close here, isn't it? Milden did say he was looking forward to this track, and it is a great track. If you can get a qualifying position, as we're seeing, that will be played out in the race. But look at the times that Dex, Art, Connor, and Floppy Fox have set. Right on top of one another.
Wow.
Milden is up on his time. Let me just run through and have a look here. Car Mentalist is slightly down, and I do mean ever so slightly down on his time that he's running at the moment. Gunnar Gamble. There's H Racing Green. We did say at the start he'd be one to watch.
Yes.
Gunnar Gamble, he's out on a flying lap. He's on an out lap at the moment. H Racing Green, though, he's just pulled over to the pits. He's within half a second. He's gone top 5. Dex is back into the pits. Sorting out some tyres and getting the temperature sorted out. 30 degrees on track with a bit of cloud.
Flying Frome's on pole position.
Well, he snuck that under the radar.
Yeah, I did not see it until I saw the timing pages, but 1/10 of a second to Car Mentalist.
Oh, and I tell you what, SOP Milden could rain on that parade now. He's 2.5 tenths up. Is he going to hold it? Is he going to hold it? That's going to be a 29 flat. No, it's not. 29.1.
Oh, I'm liking this. I'm liking this qualifying session, John. Probably we're going to have basically the closest qualifying session of the season. And oh my goodness, this is great as we're seeing people go into the gravel trap there as well. Car Mentalist is on a lap as well.
Oh, it's just on a 28.9. I said he could get in there. I did think he could get in the 28.
Yep, he's rained on Flying Thrones Parade, actually. Car Mentalist was the hot driver this week.
Cool.
Yeah, Sippy Cool's on a lap. Everyone's on a lap, folks. It's getting quicker and quicker. But Car Mentalist was a hot driver this week in the hot and cold. Could be closing in on the inaugural One Hub Racing ACC Championship. But it is a close race. Can he steer through the pressure to bring it home? Well, we need, to be honest, Milden to ball it, which I hope he doesn't, because I want it to go to the finale in Monza. So, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And our cold driver, he's not here this week, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Blair Grylls, not had the best of times out there. With minimal points to now, we'll be hoping to get a bit of luck coming this way. And in a driver's press conference, second place in the championship, Milden, who seems to be in a two-horse race with Car Mentalist, and been trading wins at various points. Are you going to be the one to come out with the Drivers' Championship next week? And he said, I think it'll be unexpected, but I like to prove people wrong. Having said that, the Zolder race is crucial to my championship hopes. I need to beat him here to take it realistically to the final race in Monza. Thanks to everyone, the drivers, organisers, commentators, stewards, for a brilliant first season. No matter what happens in the next few weeks, it's been a blast. Oh, Milden, we love you. We love you, really. And, yeah, he's not that fun. Car Mentalist has put an even quicker time again. He is insane right now. Oh, my goodness. And I'm just seeing is there any relevant question for the pre-race interviews. There we go. Asking about pre-season goals. Well, Car Mentalist, he's already almost reaching his goals. This race could decide that for him. Cam just wanted points. Well, Cam, you got points, my friend. So Cam's already reached his goals. He's got a bit of blue on his livery this week. So mainly pink, but he's got a bit of blue now. And I like it. I like it better than last week. Dexter's already met his pre-season, still in contention for your pre-season goals. Yes, because he's still mathematically in the hunt. Milden, same as last week, going well. Just need to keep up with my results. Blue Mosquito hasn't met his goals. He's been out the window on race 1. Floppy Fox says, nope, too much death. Well, to be fair, he did get a penalty last week, so that didn't really help that much. Connor says, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Kill says, no, not now, this season's been a rollercoaster to me. I should definitely be in a championship fight, as he had the pace with the top guys in here. Picking a Lambo was a big mistake, and it takes time to set up, which he does not have now. So with 4 minutes left to go, Floppy Fox was second in practice, and I haven't seen his full potential here in this qualifying session. He could be up there too, and again, like we said, he needs a miracle with Car Mentalist and Milden having a shocker in order for him to stay there. He pops his car in 6th position.
Yeah, it is just getting closer and closer between second and 6th at the moment. Car Mentalist is really stamping his authority on this whole thing here. 1 minute 28.6 is very, very, very quick indeed on a console, I can tell you that. SOP Cool's pulled into the pits in second with Flying Throme. Colin mentioned in the chat. Throme is flying. It'll be good to see what he can do in a car he does enjoy driving next season. That'll be interesting. Milden, the man who had his highest hopes for this very race, he's maybe put himself under a bit too much pressure here. He is down on his lap at the moment. He's only going to have one more crack at it after this, with less than 3 minutes left on the qualifying clock. At the moment then, it's looking like Cam Come On and Gaza Man are row number 7 on the grid, with Cablo and Blue Mosquito on row number 6. We've got Ponage Town, loving that livery. He is in 10th at the moment. Connor currently in 9th, so inside the top 10 then. He'll be looking to press that even further. And my very favourite driver in the series, of course, because he's in that beautiful Ferrari, is Dexter, currently running in 8th. H Racing Green. Missed a couple of races. Do not underestimate him again, though. Still time to put aboard. And he's up to 7th. Gunnar Gamble in 6th. We've got Milden currently in 5th. He really will be trying to pop this on the front row of the grid to challenge Car Mentalist for that title. Flying Throme then He has just been moved down a place because SOP Cool's in third and Floppy Fox.
That's why I said woo for.
Yep, I did guess that. And you just, after saying we don't think we'd seen his full potential here in qualifying, and I didn't think we had either, and he's just unleashed it. That is now 3 drivers under the 1 minute 29 mark. Not too bad at all. In fact, that's, 4 drivers. So the top 4 all in the 1 minute 28s. SOP Cool. In fact, they're going to get a couple more laps. If I underestimate, of course, 3 minutes, a minute and a half, then yeah, they've still got 1 minute 19. So Cool's going to cross the line. He's going to get another crack at it. He got a good exit, and he's found himself a couple of cheeky little hundreds there coming through the first corner. He will look to build on that and mount an attack. There is not much of a difference between him and Floppy Fox there at the top of the grid, and we can see there the one just up in the top left hand corner, that little green number flickering. At the moment he is in second position. This will promote him up to second if he can hold on to that time there. Milden's on track as well, so I'm going to keep an eye on his time. He is right on the bubble.
Oh no, Cool's gone off.
Oh, he's lost it in the chicane.
That is not good. He's got to move out of the way, because I think Car Mentalist is catching up there. Oh, what a shame for Cool. He was about 2 tenths up. I was following him on board on his lap, and you know, I believe that is his qualifying over. Luckily, I think it was Connor. Where is he? Connor, who I think moved out of the way, or it was another car anyway. Yeah, it was Connor. So, yeah, so I think he's going to stay in third, but Milden,
Milden's made the mess of it. He's pulled up to the side. I don't know if there was an issue. I think there was a car on the driving line that had just pulled up and finished a flying lap. And I don't know, although, I mean, it's 50-50. There's a good chance he missed his brakes because he did seem to run a bit wide into turn 1. Maybe a bit of an adrenaline dump there, realising it was his last crack at a lap and how close he was. Floppy Fox, SOP Cool still, he's in the pits. Really is all down to Floppy Fox then. He is still out on track. He's the last man. He's second position. Can he challenge? No, he can't. No, he's 2.5 tenths down. Unless he can find that. Wow, he's just found almost 2 tenths in the last corner, but it's still not enough to go any quicker. It won't improve on his time. And there we go then. Car Mentalist. Domination continues. You know what I was giggling at as well, Jess? I have to say, Cam. It was extremely ambitious. He's put together a spreadsheet that's given Jess and I some fantastic information on the possible computations of who can win and under what circumstances. And in that, he's actually given all the possible points connotations if Car Mentalist wins the comeback point. The comeback point is for getting the most overtakes inside the top 10. And I giggled and thought to myself, it's really difficult to get a lot of overtakes if you keep starting the race from pole position.
That is very true.
It's really going to be difficult. And once again, Car Mentalist, he's not interested in any of these comeback points. He is going to start from the front row, the pinnacle.
He could get fastest lap.
Apex predator. He could still get fastest lap as well. That is definitely the point that could be getting taken into consideration. But as far as comeback points, though, I don't think that Car Mentalist is going to be picking many of those up. If I was going to throw my hat into the ring for a racer to get comeback points this evening, I would have to say Dex and H Racing Green. Now, I know that's 2, but that's called hedging your bets, and I'm allowed to do that. Or at least that's what I tell myself. And who else do I fancy? Cam as well could get a couple of decent laps in. But that is qualifying done. It was Car Mentalist and Floppy Fox that are on the front row of the grid. SOP Cools and Flying Frome on row number 2 with Milden starting in 5th. That will be music to the ears of Car Mentalist. Gunnar Gamble, 6-8 Racing Green, 7th. Dex in 8th. Connor's going to start in 9th with Ponage Town in 10th. Blue Mosquitoes 11th. Cablo is 12th. Gazaman is 13th place. He's in the chat as well. And Cam Come On is going to start in 14th position. 75 minute we've got tonight, Jess, with the mandatory pit stop. and it looks like they've been let off lightly and no rain this evening. We do have clouds, so we can still pray. We can still pray. But given the races that we've seen so far, even with only 14 on the grid, we should be in for an absolute classic here based on the lap times that we've just seen in qualifying.
Yes, indeed. I think we are about to get started with the formation lap. So let's go on board with them as they go through that as well. So whilst we do that, let's go and have a look at the permutation. We'll go through a few. So if Carmentelis wins, it will only be Milden still mathematically in the chance to do anything. Milden must finish 7th or 8th with the comeback point. The most important thing is Milden could be in for a shot of getting comeback points tonight because he's starting in 5th. So he must finish 7th or higher or 8th with a comeback point. If Carmentelis finished 7th, Milden must finish 10th or 11th with a comeback point. Basically finish 10th because obviously you don't get comeback points if you're 11th downwards, do you? Because you're starting from 5th Milden and he'll drop down otherwise. So if Carmentelis finished 3rd, then Milden, it will go to the final race in Monza. Frome must win, everybody else will be eliminated. If Carmentelis finished 4th, Frome must finish 2nd, everyone else eliminated. If Carmentelis finished 5th, Frome must finish 2nd or 3rd with comeback point. If Carmentelis finished 6th, Frome must finish 3rd or 4th. If Carmentelis finished 7th, Connor must win with comeback point. Camobabo must win. Well, Camobabo's eliminated because he's not here. Dexter must win or finish 2nd with comeback point. Everyone else eliminated. If Carmentelis finished 8th, Connor must win. Camobabo must win or finish 2nd with comeback point. Dexter must finish 2nd, and I can't see what else is there. And Frome must finish 5th. If Carmentelis finished 9th, Floppy Fox must win with comeback point. Connor must win. Camobabo and Dexter must finish 2nd. Frome must finish 5th or 6th with comeback point. Khalifa's not here, so it doesn't matter. Carmentelis finished 10th. I don't think he's going to finish 10th, is he? But anyway, Khalifa must win.
Well,
Floppy Fox must win. Connor must win or finish 2nd with comeback point. Camobabo must finish 2nd. Dexter must finish 2nd or 3rd with comeback point. Frome must finish 8th or 6th. I can barely read. If Carmentelis finished 11th, Khalifa and Floppy Fox must win. Connor must finish 2nd. Camobabo must finish 2nd or 3rd with comeback point. Dexter must finish 3rd. Frome must finish 6th or 7th with comeback point. If Carmentelis finished 12th, Connor must finish 2nd. Camobabo must finish 3rd. Floppy Fox must win or 2nd with comeback point. Dexter must finish 3rd or 4th with comeback point. Frome must finish 7th. And if Carmentelis doesn't score, a lot of people's going to win. So let's get this started. Let's go.
Here we go, green light. And I'll tell you what, it's Carmentelis has been swamped at the start. Floppy Fox is taking the lead. It looked like Carmentelis got himself a little bit bogged down there at the start, so the lead of the race has changed hands before turn 1. Is the man I said to watch before the race. It's Floppy Fox is taking the lead. SOP Cool is held on to 3rd with Flying Frome still hanging on to 4th. Milden's got 5th position and Gunnar Gamble's got 6th still. H Racing Green, he's in 7th. Dex 8th. Art Connor 9th. Pony's Town is still in 10th. It looks like they've all got through. The timing boards are only just now messing with us. It does look everyone's got through nice and cleanly. And I've just jumped on board with Milden though, and saying that he's down in 13th. So it looks like there has been a bit of an incident there. Sorry, Gunnar Gamble and SOP Milden I think have had it coming together. They're now well adrift of the pack. A 2.5 down on Cam Come On. Up at the front of the field though, that's where all the action is happening. And I'll tell you what, Floppy Fox is showing a very, very, very clean pair of heels to the McLaren driving Carmentelis. The Carmentelis has got a rear view mirror that's a lot fuller than he would have anticipated, considering he's got a car in front of him at the moment. As SOP Cool Flying Frome absolutely applying the pressure. H Racing Green has made it up 2 places in the opening exchanges. Did somebody say comeback punch? And he's been followed through. He's been followed through by ERT Dexter. Deja Vu. R Connor's up to 7th. Pony's Town's made up 2 places. And Blue Mosquito's made it up to 9th as well. I'm pretty sure that's at the expense of Milden and Gunnar Gamble. They've had a coming together in turn 3 by the looks of it. But up at the front of the grid, Jess, it's all action all over the place. Art Connor is trying to make a move on Dex Dexter in 7th at the moment. And he's got the cutback engaged. He's going to pop this one right up the inside. It's going to be a drag race into turn number 3. Oh, and I tell you what, Art Connor, race IQ 101 there. He could have tried to pop that Aston up the inside. In fact, I don't think he got the drive that he wanted to, but he's going to really close up coming into the first chicane of the Insane.
Oh, someone's gone off!
Oh,
that's
got
cool.
a
That's cool.
No way.
That is cool.
SOP cool. Wow, SOP cool in the Mercedes.
Oh,
and I tell you what,
I thought I saw someone go off, but it was just the chicane.
Neck code jumping between. Oh yeah, the chicane. It does. Yeah, that can definitely catch you out both ways. But yeah, so SOP Cool's dropped places. H Racing Green. That man is a machine. He's on the move. Dex Dexter's up that place as well. Connor and Ponage have all made it through. And Blue Mosquito, after writing off his season, he's made it up to 8th. He's got himself inside the top 10. He's got Cabo and SOP Cool behind him, so he's got a tough night ahead of him, keeping him there. Gazaman 11th. Milden is back up to 12th. Cam Come On is now in 13th with Gunnar Gamble in 14th position. But the 6th place battle, Jess, this was the 7th place battle until SOP Cool binned it, and it's now Connor and Dex going into turn 1. Oh! And I tell you, that was a code brown for Dexter and very nearly contact from Art Connor.
Similar to last week. Similar to last week almost, and that's what gave Connor a 30-second penalty. So Connor doesn't want to repeat what he did last week, but I don't think he has. So that's relief for all involved. And Ponish Town's closing up to the back of this as well. This could get insane. Now, I'm going to get this camera here. Yes, I'm going to get the back camera with Ponish Town. I think 5 tenths within Connor right now. He's gaining a lot on the straight here as well. And Ponish Town needs a redemption race, I have to say, because he had a race ban last week due to the incident that he had at Silverstone a couple of weeks ago. So this is the race for him. He's out of the championship, but he's out there to have some fun. Blue Mosquito not that far behind him as well. So plenty of opportunities for everyone to stick their nose as they see fit. And the championship is getting even more tight, because if Milden drops any more positions, then that will be his championship over.
Yeah, it really was. He didn't get the best of qualifying. He was targeting this race as a win, and it's really not the qualifying or the race start that he was hoping for. Down in 11th, as you say, Jess, with the computations and the number of drivers still in this, he really can't afford.
Oh, he's going to go for a move. Oh, that was close for Milden. He almost got Cablo there into turn 1, I think it is.
Yeah, that is turn 1. Yeah. That was all the way turn 1 there. Yeah, all the way turn 1. Still very close. Good evening, Baggy. Yes, it does feel weird saying come on, Floppy. But yeah, cheering on Floppy Fox, one of your very own Indigo Lime drivers, looking very swish in the team colours, it has to be said. He qualified in 2nd position, and he got the jump on Car Mentalist before turn 1. And he's shown Car Mentalist a clean pair of heels, while Car Mentalist is trying to fend off flying Frome. That wasn't easy to say. It was an alliteration that could have very easily gone wrong. In the Lamborghini, H Racing Green and Dexter. Imagine one of the commentators has said that those two could make up lots of places in the race tonight. That man would be classed as a genius. Oh wait, I did. Art Connor if it wasn't for my modesty, I'd be perfect. You know what they say.
Exactly.
But yeah, Art Connor, he's been trying to get the move done on Dexter. Hasn't managed it. These two, of course, had an incident in the last race. The stewards settled that, so they'll be back out, hand shaking and racing. Definitely fighting for this position. Dex is hoping, if he can get himself in. He did say before he wanted the seasonal aspirations was a top 5. He's currently on for a top 3 overall, which would be a fantastic result for him. SOP Cool, SOP Milden. They're used to being at the sharper end of the grid. Not having it their own way at the moment, but I tell you, SOP Cool's about to have it own way, and it's his own way, and it's going to be Blue Mosquito that falls by the wayside here. It is the Mercedes driver that is looking the much quicker there. And I tell you, I think Blue Mosquito as well perhaps ditch the Audi next season as well. I haven't heard many good reports about that car. It can be a bit of a handful to drive. And let's see how much of the curb you can take. Both drivers making the most of the curb there. SOP cool.
Oh, that's Cablo off.
Oh, yep. He's clipped that curb on the first insane chicane. As we see the Mercedes chasing Audi through the second insane chicane. Cablo lights up the back tyre, gets himself a little bit of airborne, a whole lot of traction loss. And it is the back end trying to overtake the front end of the car, which never goes well in a GT3 car, I can absolutely promise you. Who are we on board with? Yeah, we're still on board with SOP Cool, of course. He is pestering the Blue Mosquito, so now the Mosquito knows how we all feel. As he's got the Mercedes buzzing around. Thanks very much. I'm here all week. Try the snake tip your wings. That's an old 70s song.
Wow.
Seriously, that's yeah. That's
cool. Almost got the move there. He's looking very good. There's not going to be much space at all. He's going to go for the lunge and descend the dream. He's almost gone off as well. Surely this can't be done, unfortunately, due to that mistake. Blue Mosquito keeps that position, and Blue Mosquito, he's having a lot of pressure, but he's handling it very, very well, whereas Cool is struggling just a little bit more. You could have a look to the left-hand side here, but that is a tricky set of corners to do so I wouldn't want to do that if I were you, Cool, but he's trying to at least, because he wants to make sure that he gets in the top 10 of the championship, because he would have been in the championship fight if he didn't change to the Mert. But I'm almost certain he's coping all right with the Mert, but there's some races where he didn't do as well, but we will see. And as you can see, it's just so difficult to avoid the barriers here and the curbs. Curbs are deadly. The curbs are not just deadly in Formula 1 games, they're deadly in ACC around Zolder. Imagine Formula 1 cars racing around Zolder. Interesting. I wonder if Zolder's a track they're considering to replace the other tracks. Maybe not now, because it'll be winter then and it'll be so cold. But anyway, they're heading towards the start finish straight now, Cool and Blue Mosquito, to start, I believe, lap 7. And they've done 6 laps already, as Blue Mosquito trying to cover off Cool as much as he can there. And Cool not making the same mistake as before, but look at who's there behind to join in the fun. SOP Milden. Bring it on, Milden, because this is what he needs to stay in this fight. I believe Car Mentalist is still in second position.
By a long stretch.
So Car Mentalist...
H Racing Green and Dexter as well, sorry, I'll tell ya. Dex looked like he was having a bit of bother with Art Connor, but he has absolutely got himself suited and booted, and he is ready to take himself that comeback point. Of course, if he does finish ahead of H Racing Green, that automatically gives him the comeback point, because the two of them have already made up the most positions inside the top 10, starting 7th and 8th, and now 4th and 5th. And it is the Ferrari that's coming into its own at the moment. H Racing Green, a very quick driver indeed, but he is in that Audi R8. I was just having discussions with one of my friends today, Johnny Bissett, in fact. He's done some seasons in the Audi, he's tried some other cars, he reckons it's definitely more stable options. And it does look like Dex is proving once again that the Ferrari is the greatest car of all time. Thank you very much. There's today's facts. You learn something new every day. And that was it for today. The 488 Evo is amazing. And Dex certainly proving that at the moment. As I say, we know that H Racing is very, very quick. But Dex is keeping him very, very, very honest there. Oh, and in fact, I'll tell you what we've missed. Oh, Jess, jump on back with Blue Mosquito. Because SOP Milden, while I've been romanticising about the Ferrari, SOP Milden's got the job done on SOP Cool. So the battle he was in, so Cool and Mosquito were battling, and Milden's creeped up on the back of them, and he has picked the pocket of his teammate. He runs wide through the first chicane, so it's going to be his teammate that's got the run on him then. This is going to be an interesting one. So it's the two teammates that are in one another's pockets here, as Blue Mosquito comes into the chicane first. followed by an SOP Bentley and an SOP Mercedes, but they've swapped places here. So can Milden have any better luck getting past the Blue Mosquito than his teammate did? His teammate certainly won't hope so. He'll be looking to get a double overtake done if he can. The Bentley looking very solid here, exiting out of the last hairpin as they come along, but Blue Mosquito is not hanging about either. He's putting in some solid laps, especially considering everything that he's got going on. All three cars over that right-hand curve on the exit of the corner. Oh, to finish the lap, and there we go into the braking. So Blue Mosquito once again is the lead driver, or still is the lead driver of these three, and he has got the biggest gap at the moment. Oh, he's not done well in turn 2. He's just lit up those back tyres a bit, not quite smooth enough on the accelerator, so he has dropped one position that could quite easily have been 2. The Mercedes is going to have a dart up the inside as well. It's going to be 2 wide as the exit turn 3 coming into the chicane. This is going to be all kind of fun. It is Blue Mosquito that's got his nose in the front, but he is on the tighter inside line. Will the Mercedes go side by side through the chicane? No, falls back into place. I'd have definitely gone side by side there and tried to get the overtake done, but not to be for SOP Cool. He backs out of it, lives to fight another day. So through chicane number 2 they come this time, and it is Milden back on the charge. That's 2 places in 2 laps to put him back in 8th position, and he really does need to light those things up, get that foot to the floor and get caught up if he's got any chance of closing this gap on the drivers ahead and getting himself right back into title contention. That could well be aided by the battle we've got for 5th at the moment. The battle for 4th even, I do apologise. It's Dex I'm watching, obviously. He's in the Ferrari, he's in 5th. But in our corner there, I was just about to say it's a 3-way battle. He's made a slight mistake on the last corner there, so he's now dropped to a 2nd. There was only 7/10 between H Racing Green and Dexter and Art corner there. Art makes a little mistake in the last corner, and starting lap number 10, he could well be the forgotten man. Although, as I was saying to Jess before the broadcast, one of the things that you really, this track, it's not the chicane, it's not so much the chicanes, it's just how heavy the braking zones are coming into the chicanes and the hairpin. You really do have to slam those anchors on. Oh, Art getting a bit much of the chicane there, pushing too hard there. All he's done is got himself airborne and unsettled, and he's now got Ponage Town in his rear view mirrors. So that's put Ponage back into it. But I tell you, Art again in the Aston Martin, he's still hanging on in there. Seems to make mistakes, drops off, and then gets pulled straight back in again. Dex will be seeing that in the background. Dex with a much tighter line through the last hairpin there. Coming along the bottom straight then, H Racing Green still hanging on to 4th position. Dex getting ever so slightly closer, still hovering about the half a second mark. The pit stops again in this race are going to be so important. H Racing Green and Audi in 4th, Dex in the Ferrari in 5th, Art Corner in the Aston Martin in 6th, and Ponage Town in the Bentley in 7th. Within a second and a half, these 4 cars, 4 manufacturers, 4 different team drivers. Oh, and it's a wiggle in turn 2. H Racing Green. Oh, and tell you what, Dex has let him off the hook and done exactly the same thing on the corner exit. Dex had to run on him. I think he maybe got a bit excited there, planted the accelerator. He's lit up his back tyres again, and Art Corner
there we
is
go.
now going to make a move. Sorry, Jess, on you go. Yeah, move into the chicane perhaps.
Yeah, potentially, but I think Dexter's clawing back on H Racing Green, so maybe that mistake was a little bit too close for comfort there, but it is definitely a 4-car fight. You could see the background of Connor. He's catching up on corner exit now, so he could go for the lunge here as well, maybe Ponage Town too. SOP Milden's up into 8th position, so he's clawing back what he's lost earlier. He could be doing a Dexter comeback for all we know. That'll be great, won't it? And to be honest, if Milden does that, he'll be one of my contenders for driver of the day. So come on, Milden, make up some position for me. I want a championship fight going into next week. Anyway, we've got Connor on Dexter. I think Dexter's losing a bit. Oh, is there Dexter going into the pits?
He's coming to the pits, he's coming to the pits. Wow, so with just under an hour left to go, they've only been on track 15 minutes. Dexter is going for the Uber undercut.
That is so early.
That is so early. I wonder.
Is
Now,
it damage?
somebody referenced something when I was in the race last night. I actually watched the broadcast back from a race I was in. And somebody did mention something about the Uber undercut that had worked for someone. To be fair, he might have just wanted to get out of that battle.
Yes.
Who wants to be stuck nose to nose? And with there only being 14 drivers on track, it might actually work in your favour spending that much time in the pit. It should pretty much guarantee him that he either comes out just ahead. In fact, he should be. Yeah, he should get out just ahead of Gazaman. Will he? No, Gazaman's coming out the last corner now. Oh no, Gazaman's already away. Sorry, I'm looking at the track the wrong way around. Yeah, so he is going to come out. Oh, just in front of the leaders. He's going to be just in front of the leaders, so he's played that perfectly.
Yeah, because you'll be a lap down.
He's going to have so much clear track. He's got so much clear track. If he can get out now, he needs to get out now, right? He's got out, he's off and running because Floppy Fox is now in his rear view mirror. So that's maybe a bit closer. Well, with the pace that Floppy's going, Dex could find himself being blue flagged by the leader.
Floppy Fox is amazing. Wow. Doing a great job at the moment. I did say that he had something off his sleeve, didn't he? Like, I did say that he was looking good in practice, and then he pulled up a good lap in quali, and now he's leading the race, you know? That's incredible. Now, Floppy Fox probably sees Dexter right in front of him and is thinking, hang on, Dexter shouldn't be there. So, will Floppy Fox respond to Dexter?
Oh, Art Connor, sorry, 5th place, Art Connor.
Is having a battle with H Racing Green.
Oh, he is. He was weaving left and right. Let's go on board with him. Yeah, jump on board with him. He's definitely putting the pressure all over H Racing Green. I think that answers the question, why did Dexter come into the pit so early?
I think he would have lost time. He would have lost time in this battle, whereas when he came out of the pit, he would have a lot cleaner air and he'll be able to set consistently faster that time. So for Dexter, I would say that was the right decision for him to box because he's not going to be in this traffic anymore. No one else, I think, is coming in. Floppy Fox is staying out, so is Car Mentalist. I think if whoever will go in, I think it'll most likely be one of these guys, H Racing Green or Connor. I think one of those two will decide to box. But no, they're not boxing either. We just get to see the battle for a few more laps. This is what we love to see, heading towards turn number 1 then. I have to say H Racing Green is probably feeling a little bit more refreshed, I think, because he was on holiday last week. I hope you had a nice holiday, H Racing Green. I'm going away in a few days' time to Scotland. I'm very excited. Meeting a few league racing friends there. Going karting in Larkle should be fun. I'm going to be the slowest. I'm going to be the slowest person there, but who cares? At least I get to see them again. I think that's the most important thing. And if you've still got a holiday to do, hope you have a nice one whenever you have it, of course. And my advice is to try and if you're an adult, of course, try and book a holiday when the schools go back. It is cheaper, I can tell you that. Anyway, Connor, he's I think about 8 attempts within H Racing Green now. So I think he's not going to find time here. So we'll go to the outboard shot. We've got Milden closing in on Ponishtown. Now Milden has been moved up to 7th due to Dexter in the pits. We also got Blue Mosquito in that train and SOP Cool that's made quite a bit of mistakes since pretty much earlier on when he had that spin. Cablo has not had a good race either. He's down in a very lonely position as well. But it's not about where you start. It's not about where you are in the middle of the race. It's how you finish the race is most important because that's how you get the points. It's not like obviously Belgium where the race was over in 2 laps in Spa, but there we go. But in this situation, it is not over for another 53 minutes and 30 seconds. The time has gone so fast already, it's unbelievable. Car Mentalist gap to Floppy Fox has increased, so Floppy Fox is nailing it out there. Flying Thrones Carmentis around about 7 seconds, I believe.
Yes, Carmentis has closed the gap. He's now within half a second. He was 3 seconds adrift.
This could be championship winning. This could be championship winning if he gets that move done.
Yeah, really good. And I'll tell you what, while we're watching, I want to give a special shout out during this just to make sure he knows that I am paying attention. Blue Mosquito, what a drive he is currently putting in. He's just given up the place there into the second chicane. SOP Cool's finally got that move done there. He has popped up the inside and got that done. But yeah, Blue Mosquito was defending lap after lap after lap after lap after lap against someone that qualified in the top 4. He qualified on the front 2 rows of the grid, and he's only just gotten past there. Milden, as we said, is pressing Town at the moment. So Cool will be trying to catch up there. Art Connor still pressing H Racing Green. They've just come past the pit entrance once again. They're literally just ahead of Milden in the gang there. But it is Floppy Fox and Carmentis that are duking it out. I think Floppy Fox might have had a little mistake. He did it. One of his more recent laps was a 1 minute 30.8 compared to his usual running time of a 28.5 to 29s. So he did. I'm not sure if it's just too much care. We can see the Bentley, the way it goes over that first chicane, just absolutely monsters its way over it. But you can still very easily get very quickly unbalanced going over there and lose direction in the car. Milden, though, as we can see him here, he's coming into the very same chicane. Plenty on the left. Oh, misses the curve on the right again. Bit of a wiggle there on exits. Opponent's Town is going to live to fight another day. And is that Art Connor? It is. It's Art Connor just ahead of them. H Racing Green's managed to get himself a little bit of breathing space there. I was going to declare Art to be Connor, sorry, to be the quicker out of himself, H Racing Green, and Dexter, because he was very comfortably getting himself back up to these drivers, even with the odd little mistake here. H Racing Green looks like he might have had enough of that situation, and he's trying to stretch that gap out, not give away as much slipstream to Connor this time, so they'll all exit the last corner with Milden now with them all very clearly in sight. There's H Racing Green just popping through. Town is the driver that Milden's going to have to get past first. Fellow Bentley driver. Definitely won't be easy. Closing up hugely in the braking zones though, so he'll be looking to maximise his corner exit through this first sector. Into the right-hander. Dab of brakes just before that slip road on the left. Use as much of the exit as you can. Again, another heavy braking zone. Closes right up. You see the Aston Martin shooting straight over those curbs like they're not even there again. Oh, and on Ponish Town then. He got a lot of that curb there. He's going to have to watch for his track limits. And I'll tell you, Jess, how close was that?
That gave me a heart attack, John. That gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, that was closer than, yeah, they might have well have traded paint there. Milden hopefully not flat spotting too much of his tyre. I've actually completely lost my train of thought there I was having before that. I'm sure there was an interesting question coming at the end. But yeah, Milden getting very close to Ponish Town. Still, Dex is the only man that's taking his pit stop. He is still lapping in 14th, but as I said, the pit stop here, because the lap is so short, it really is an eternity compared to your competitors that you spend in there. Almost 80% of a lap time. Oh, two drivers getting very close as well. Looking a bit squirrely.
Oh, Milden could go for the move. Oh no, Ponish Down closed the door nicely with his defence in turn 2. Milden just wants to gain as many positions as possible because he wants to have less of a deficit next week for him to stand a chance of claiming the title, because as it stands now, he's still in it. He's still in it. Drive through for car number 8.
Floppy Fox, the race leader. He's got Dexter just in front of him. This is a situation that Dex did not want. He's got the race leader just behind him. Floppy with a drive-through. Car mentalist. Going to back right out with this situation now. He knows that his job is done. He's got 7 seconds back to
He
flying
nearly
from.
hit Dexter, Floppy Fox. Jesus.
Yeah, got a bit close there as well.
I think that's Floppy Fox's chance of a win gone.
Oh, absolutely.
What a shame.
Way. Well, unless car mentalist
No.
gets himself a drive-through penalty.
No. Don't
But-
say anything bad about Car Mentalist.
Oh no, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying with this track, when we get to the blue flag situations in about 25 minutes, it could be interesting. But I'm trying to get past. Track limits are so easy to breach here. Even for a driver like me, that our race I did, I got 2 warnings, like full warnings. I was close to getting myself a drive-through. I think I actually did get to 3 by the end of the race.
Well, to be fair,
just so
Floppy Fox
easy
has
around
only
this
come
one.
down and served his drive-throughs. He still came out in a... Wait, hold on. The timings have been updated. I thought he was going to come in a decent position, but he's come down up just behind Blue Mosquito in 9th.
Yeah, so he's come back out nice. So he's got a big ass. And the thing is as well,
He will have
can
to set
show
his
he-
stop.
yeah, he's still got to take his pit stop. And even if he does once he gets past Blue Mosquito, that's SOP Cool, Milden, Ponage Town, Art Corner, and then H Racing Green he's got to get through. Now we saw how long it took Cool to get past Blue Mosquito. It's a very difficult track to overtake, so it's really, really, really going to be a monster ass for Floppy to get himself some salvageable points in here, considering really qualified and where he's been running in the race. Well, I'll tell you what, we're just watching this battle through the hairpin once again. It's Ponage Town, it's Milden, and it's Cool. They've now dropped off Mosquito. He's been left buzzing in the background with Floppy Fox closing in on him. Milden's come shooting into pits then.
So
there
Milden's
we
going
go.
to do the same thing as what Dexter did. He wants to get his pit stop nice and early because he knows that the championship's on the line. He knows he
Cam's
can
in as
take that gamble. Cam is in as
welcome
well.
then.
Blue Mosquito's in as well. Will this be the trigger everyone's looking for? We will find out. Where is Dexter? I'm looking at. I'm gonna look. I need to get my track map out because otherwise I'm not gonna have a clue.
Third chicane.
That.
Second chicane, sorry, second chicane. He's just in the middle of sector 2, so he's over halfway through the lap. So it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Our corners closed the gap again on H Racing Green. H Racing Green's had a nightmare through the first chicane. They're going to be side by side into the second chicane. Around the outside goes Aston Martin. His nose is legitimately in front. It's his corner, and I tell you what, side by side, job done. Art corner. What a move in the Aston Martin. I did suggest earlier he may have been the quicker out of these drivers on track. The way he kept closing the gap there, and he's made that one pay there. Art corner up into a podium position, but is it too little, too late with Dexter pitting as early as he did and getting himself out of that battle? Let these drivers battle on between themselves. Milden is exiting the pits and Dex is passing the pit exit. So Dex has definitely held off the fight from SOP Milden. But I tell you, Milden is not too far behind at all.
That could be intense, couldn't it?
That could. Well, I think Dex might have lost a bit of time when he letting first and second go through. H Racing Green and Art Corner still within range of one another, with Ponage Town watching intently, and again SOP Cool just a second off the back of these drivers, and of course we know he is very quick. He's got a bit of clear air in front of him, and I'll tell you what, the Bentley's closing on the Audi and the Mercedes is closing on the Bentley, and they're all still keeping very, very close to the Aston Martin. Cablo in the pits. Cam, come on, still in the pits at the moment. He has been dropped, but he's not moving again. I don't know why. Hopefully there's not an issue over there, but Cablo is another driver coming into the pits. So we are seeing a bit of a run of drivers at the moment as Dex led the charge. 15 minutes into the race, took his pit stop. For another 15 minutes we saw another driver, and then like buses, they all popped in at once.
Yep, indeed.
Connor third, H Racing Green fourth, Ponage Town fifth, SOP Cool sixth. Floppy Fox, after serving that drive-through, he's back out in 7th position, with some other drivers, of course, taking their pit stop. Gunnar Gamble in 8th, Gazaman still running in 9th.
Cole's in.
Still in the pits.
Cole's in the pits.
So yes.
He goes in. I think Gunnar Gamble may follow him in. I'm not entirely sure, but Carmentis may wait until the latest opportunity, but he's got to probably see what Flying Foam is. Flying Foam has probably been the star of the show so far, but I think what's helped him a lot as well, I know you could possibly agree with me, because of the frame rate difference between consoles is shocking. Flying Foam has recently got himself a PS5. Lucky him. Luckily, the league owner, Nick, helped him get a PS5. He literally mentioned him on the Discord saying, there's stock available, there's stock available. And as soon as he saw that message, he went online, got the stock available, he bought it, and he got it delivered, and he's absolutely loving it. Honestly, if you haven't got a PS5 yet, the frames...
Oh, H Racing Green.
H Racing Green, he's closing up on Connor.
He's gone sideways. He's gone sideways, and Ponage Town is going to close the distance here in the braking zone to the hairpin. And I tell you, if the Bentley can get a decent exit here, because H Racing Green really lost a lot of traction there. A lot of wiggle coming through the second chicane, and he really did a whole sideways type of manoeuvre. And yeah, once again the Bentley closing. So his tyres slightly overheated there. That's going to compromise his braking and his exit speeds. So it was all... it's still all is running great for H Racing Green there, but that could just pop a bit of doubt there. And Floppy Fox is coming into the pits for his second time of asking. Only this time it is to serve his mandatory stop and not for a drive-through.
Yeah, Cam's in too.
Cam's still in. He's been in since... I don't know what's going on with him. His marker's moved and his lights are flashing, but the car is not moving.
I will look in the ACC chat because Ian may have something to say about that, but Ponage Town is closing in 8/10 to the second, which is great to see at this stage. I think H Racing Green... Oh no! H Racing Green's made a mistake! He's hit the barrier! What's happened there? I think he must have had a controller or wheel issue or something, because that is awful. Oh, that is...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I had the wrong scene. I do apologise, but oh my goodness. That was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah,
H Racing Green.
Yeah, he's gone off there at the first chicane and absolutely buried it in the wall.
He is now in front of Cablo.
Oh, look at the damage. He's going to have to come in the pits and get that repaired.
Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's he's struggling a lot there, so...
Oh, yeah.
That is a bit unfortunate, but interestingly enough, Kull is ahead of Dexter at the moment.
Yes, he is, and they're both ahead of Floppy Fox.
And Milden as well, and Blue Mosquito, and Cablo.
Yeah.
And I think Cam is probably out of this race.
But look at Milden on Dexter. Look how close they are. Yeah, Milden's definitely closed the gap on Dex. Good evening, Simon. We'll hand to the SOP drivers. Well, okay, so we didn't actually see it, but I think Milden had a bit of a coming together with either... oh no, SOP Cool dropped it himself.
It's Cool spun.
Cool spun, that's right, dropped down the field. Milden with think had a contact in turn 3 with... I think it was... Cam, come on.
I don't know. I think it might be Cam. I'm not entirely sure, but...
It was someone up near the front of the field.
But hopefully we'll have more information. Gaz is in, H Racing Green's in, Gunnar Gamble's in, and Flying Foam is in. The guy in second position. And so is Ponage Town. Connor stays out. Oh, I'm wondering if Connor's regretting that. Maybe Connor doesn't know about the undercut situation. And that leads on nicely to, are people going to do something different strategy-wise, which was one of the questions in the pre-race interviews. Dexter saying maybe with a ... so he wasn't revealing anything. Carmentalist says it's possible Zolder isn't hard on tyres, so he can go further. So that is why he's probably going further now and try something different. However, it leaves you vulnerable, which I agree with, and it's difficult to overtake. So track position will be key. Milden, same answer as last week, work it out on the fly. While Milden has boxed and he's done quite well, so he's done the right strategy and he's closing in on Dexter at the moment. Blue Mosquito's been undercut a few times already, so we might try that. He's undercut quite a few drivers tonight, actually. So, including H Racing Green. There we go. So, I wonder what happened to H Racing Green, because obviously is damaged, but that's probably why. Less death, but Floppy Fox has got more death tonight, which was unfortunate. Conan is not sure, but here we got a battle between Milden and Dexter. He's got the job done, but Dexter could get the cutback on Milden then. This could be the move that decides if Milden lives to fight another day in the championship. And Milden stays ahead. Connor is also coming in for his stop, which just leaves Carmentalist as the last driver to make his mandatory pit stop. Luckily for Kull, he hasn't got the pit stop glitch this week, so he is all good on that front. He's doing quite well though at the moment. And I have to say, Flying Frame has had a huge undercut on some of these drivers. Well, overcut actually. So for some drivers the undercuts work, but for Flying Frame, he's got ahead probably due to the massive gap he's had anyway. So I'm almost certain Carmentalist is going to be ahead as well. So who was Connor battling with? I think he was battling with Ponage Town. So.
Ponage Town was at the back of that group. It was Dexter.
It was Dexter Connor was battling with. So
yeah.
It's Connor staying out. Dexter.
And H Racing Green, but obviously H Racing's been.
Floppy Fox is. Oh, Floppy Fox is going. Oh no, but he's not going in. Dexter's going towards the start-finish straight. Connor has gone out. It's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tight. I think Dexter will just about have him, maybe. No. Connor's got him.
Connor's definitely got him. Connor is off and running around turn 3. He's into the braking zone. Turn number 4. And Dex is a corner behind.
Connor, the overcut of dreams, I would say, for the Aston Martin and SOP Cool as well. The SOP drivers are back in this race.
Yeah, they really are. And Carmentalist, he is in the pits, so 35 minutes to go. And we're going to have seen all of the drivers in the pits. H Racing Green's still in there getting that damage repaired. That's going to be a while. So Flying Frome then is the man leading on track at the moment, but of course it is Carmentalist
is going out.
Moving. Yep,
he's going to be ahead. He's going to clearly be ahead. Flying Frome's only going towards the final few corners.
Yeah, he's actually just coming out the last corner now, so he's going to cross the start-finish line as Carmentalist is in through and out turn number 2. Turn number 3, Flying Frome is in turn number 1, so Carmentalist very much job done. Championship. He has both hands on this now, Jess. 34 minutes separate Carmentalist from the inaugural One Hub ACC season championship.
Not quite, because Milden has to finish 7th or higher. He's in 5th, Milden.
Oh, of course. Oh wow, right enough.
Yeah, and we do have a word about what happened to Cam. It wasn't a spin. He was just experiencing pain in his hand, so he decided to pull out the race and retire.
Alright, okay.
Which was fair enough. His lap times were falling off apparently. He was trying to protect his hand, so he just bit the bullet and came in. Fair enough, you don't really want to be racing with pain. Dexter. Oh, he's closing in, Floppy Fox. So let's go on board with Floppy Fox and let me get the right scene at this time.
Oh yeah, it's fun on console, isn't it, Jess?
Yeah, it's so annoying on console, whereas on PC you can have one screen with the spectator camera application, and then you can have another screen with the ACC game, and it's all good. Whereas this, you have to swap and change between the two. ACC, please do something to make it easier for console for spectator. Anyway, another topic for another day. At least we're getting a PS5 version in February, so that is all good. I'm looking forward to that. So, Floppy Fox then is looking for a comeback in this race. I have a feeling H Racing Green may be out of this race as well, as both Floppy Fox and Dexter make their way towards turn 1. Don't forget there's still comeback points on offer, whether you're inside the top 10 or outside the top 10. Not quite sure where they are at the moment. Floppy Fox could go for the right hand move on Dexter, but Dexter, defensive, was second to none for him. And passing the Yokohama sign. And now the toughest corner on the racetrack, they both go. Oh, Floppy Fox clips a curb there. That could have been a lot worse for the Bentley compared to the Ferrari. Nice to see a lot of Bentleys on the track, I have to say. And he's got Ponage down in their rear sight as well. And then we got Milton and Kuhl maybe having a battle soon too, so that should be cool.
Yeah, these two will definitely be fighting out to see who can finish the best between. I think Kuhl knows that Milden really is still in with a chance of winning this championship then. I did get myself a bit overexcited, but as Jess was here to reel me in once again, of course Milden, if he finishes 5th or better, it still most definitely keeps him in the hunt for the final race at Monza next week. Turn 1 there could decide the entire championship, and that's going to be 6 weeks in. So we'll see how that goes. Dex still fighting to get his top 3 championship position, but he's going to be made to work for it. Floppy Fox, the man that qualified in 2nd, took the lead of the race in the 1st turn. On himself a bit of a mistake, and he finds himself.
Oh, he's looking good. He's looking good, John. Oh. Again, Dex are close to the door though. Oh, Dex is just doing a great job defending through there. He's loving his life right now. I have to say, doing a lot better than last week in terms of moves. But maybe the pit stop maybe costed a few positions for him, but at least he's having a lot of fun right now. He's not racing for rage at the moment. He's racing for more about fun this week, and as Floppy Fox has lost a bit of time now with that curb, but that probably has not affected him anyway in the slightest. And Floppy Fox is just trying to find ways to go for moves, but you don't want to risk things too much, especially where some of the apexes are so blind you can barely see. So as the camera deciding not to go on board with Floppy Fox for some reason, there we go. Eventually got there as we head towards the last 2 corners of this sector. And I do believe that if Cam's hand does start to fix itself, then he will be back in the race for just a few laps down, but we'll see anyway, because you never know, there could be some retirements and there may be a chance for people to get back in the points. Already we got half an hour of this race still to go. Car Mentalist still leads the way right now. He could be on for 3rd race victory in a row, which is so hard to believe right now, but he is the king of ACC at the moment. And Milden must finish 7th or higher for him to stay in the fight. At the moment he is 5th, so Milden is doing all he needs to do, but only just. Let's watch Floppy Fox then. He's seizing up the opportunity again, very close in that chicane to get the move on Dexter. And Guna Gummel just running on his own at the moment, but Blue Mosquito, so is he as well. And Cablo having a bit of a lonely race too, but top 12 score points, so it's very... You got to stay in this race surely, because the more points you get, the higher you are up in the championship. There's some people in the championship that haven't scored any points at all.
Yes, indeed, and with points for, as you say, the top 12, definitely worth hanging in there for Cablo and Gazaman, getting themselves some points on the board in the championship. But the points in the championship are going to be spread out a bit thinner at the top of the table this week by the looks of it. Art Connor up in third, Jess. He has himself a whole rear view mirror full of SOP colours there. He's got cool. Oh, and he's just gone sideways. Cursor the commentator. SOP cool's gone sideways through turn 3. And it is the Bentley that makes the overtake on the Mercedes. I thought the Mercedes, Cool was lining up Art Connor's Aston Martin, but Bentley and the Bentley and Milden in the background. He has just seen his championship dreams reignited. I bet he thought he had his work cut out for him, getting himself back up in these positions. And
he's doing a Dexter from last week.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he really is. And I'll tell you what, Dex. Oh, and while that's been happening, Floppy Fox has got the move done on Dex.
There's just so many battles happening on this track tonight. It's crazy.
That's exactly what this track does. Well, I love Zolder. I love racing around here. I love watching the racing around here. The more you can get a lot more cars on here.
You love all Belgian tracks, don't you, John?
I do. The Belgians do two things well. That's biscuits and racetracks.
Woo!
And we do love them for it. Although the chocolate's not bad as well.
Yes. And one thing I must say to Dexter, can we have a Belgian track again in next season? Oh, Floppy Fox has made a bit of a mistake.
Oh, he has. That's not a jest. That's an understatement there.
He's made a big mistake. Pony's Shannon's got past him. Dex has got past him. Oh. So Dex is back up into 6th place. I think that's where he's going to be for the rest of the race now. I don't see much position changing for the top 3, I would say. But for Milden, Kuhl, that could change the battle of the SOP drivers. Simon must be loving this.
Oh yeah, he definitely will be. Oh, cool.
Cool, no.
That wasn't cool, bud. He's just gone airborne over that chicane again. Took far too much of that curve and it's kicked himself all over the place. But it is Milden then. So it really is all going Milden's way. Not only did Cool drop it to give Milden that place, Cool's dropped it again to give Milden a nice clear rear view mirror to get battling for against Connor to try and get himself on the podium. Really will still keep his hopes alive for the last week of the championship. 25 minutes left to go. It's going to be no mean feat getting himself past Connor. That is for absolutely sure. We've seen Connor hang it in there with Dex and H Racing Green. He was all over the back of them, pulled an absolute worldie of an overtake on H Racing Green to get himself onto the podium. And I'll tell you, he will be more than happy to defend for the next 25 minutes against any comers who may try and take this podium away from him. SOP Milden, of course, fighting for his championship life here. He only needs to finish 7th to keep himself in the hunt. But the higher up he can get, the less points he needs Carmentless to drop next week. The exit to turn 3, where we saw Milden take the place from SOP Cool. See him close the gap on the Aston Martin. Catches a bit of the curve on the right there. Bit of a wiggle, but it's enough to get him through there. He is looking ever present and ever dangerous here in the back. All over the back of that Aston Martin. Through the chicane to come once again. 32 laps into this race. And they're still putting in some very, very, very quick laps. Milden is going to have to be very patient here though. He's going to have to build, but Connor is doing more than enough keep him in the background there. Floppy Fox has got the position retaken from Ponystown. He's got himself back up to 7th position. SOP Simon is in the chat saying that there's no team orders. Yeah, there's probably just as well. I don't think either of these drivers would listen considering what's on the line, Simon, let's face it. Radio. Sorry boss, the radio wasn't working. No, didn't hear what you said, but no, yeah, did all radio static noise. Milden will be full concentration at the moment though. They've now got a 3-second gap back to SOP Cool. He's got Dex behind him and Floppy Fox behind him. Floppy showed so much promise early doors. Got himself on the front. Oh, look how much quicker that Bentley is out with turn 3. Coming in to the chicane. Oh, the Bentley gets a great run through there. Is this the moment where he closes in? The hairpin is where it could all come alive if Dex, if Milden gets a good run through here. Oh, that's not the run he wanted. Far too much of that curve on the left hand side. So he is going to be close here, but Aston Martin always gets a good run into this corner with the foot down, so he's not going to be close enough to put it up the inside here. That was the plan. But that middle chicane seeing it undone. And Aston Martin holds on to third for another lap. Stays defensive to keep Milden out of the slipstream as much as possible. You don't want to be weaving back and forward though. It's better to give away a bit of slipstream than be weaving side to side and compromising your own pace. Milden again. It's almost like he avoided the slipstream there. Doesn't want to get too much speed into the first corner. You want to make sure you hit your apexes and exits. Apexes and exits, as the ever faithful Jim on crew chief will keep telling you. These two, you'd be absolutely delighted to see the drive that Milden's put in so far. Given the early contact, qualified in 5th, dropped down to the back of the grid. He is now fighting for a podium position. It's just a pity the comeback points don't reflect the overall race, more your qualifying position to your finishing position, rather than where you ended up at the start of the race and where you ended up at the end of the race, as Milden's made his way right back through the field. And it is just Connor that is holding him off those extra points he so very needs to keep Car Mentalist in check for the race at Monza. He really is pestering all over the back of that Aston Martin. Yes, he wants that podium position, does Milden here.
Yeah, because looking back at the results, obviously he's won a race in Belgium. In Silverstone, he did not too bad either. He got a podium there. He got a podium in last week's race in Hungary. He hasn't set foot off the podium this season, which is incredible. Hashtag consistency is cold. Oh no, Connor! Connor has spun. He's made a mistake all by himself there. And that has given Milden a lifeline. Connor has gone into the gravel trap. He must be devastated. I'm so heartbroken for the ART driver. He was on for the podium. He could taste it. He could feel it. But now the podium could
on
be...
Floppy Fox, back on Dexter 7th on 6th.
Let's go on board with them then.
Yeah, he's got the move done actually. I think Dexter's just gotten himself out of the way. We've just missed that there, but he casually got the move done up the inside. I think Dex didn't quite get the eggs he wanted on turn 2. And turn 3, Floppy Fox popped it back up the inside. So Dex then down into 7th position, which I believe is where he started. No, he started in 8th, so he still made up a spot. Ponies Town and Blue Mosquito gaining places, as well as Gunnar Gamble, obviously at the expense of H Racing Green. Car Mentalist still leading the way, so Floppy Fox on a good comeback drive as well. Qualified, of course, on the front row of the grid, took the lead of the race before turn 1. Such was his start. But then, yeah, found himself making a bit of a mistake, dropping down the order. He's since made another mistake and found himself back behind Dexter. He's now retaken that position once again. As we say, I find himself back up to 6th. There is Art Connor just ahead of him, fresh from his mistake in turn 1. Could we see Floppy in the last 19 minutes catch up to Connor and make his day go from slightly bad to slightly worse? He loses another position here because Connor, of course, with that big spin, you lost the spots to Cool and Milden, so the SOP pair once again inseparable come at the end of a race. This time it's 3rd and 4th to find themselves in. So great comeback drive from both of them. Of course, Cool started ahead of his teammate Milden. it just goes to show you how strong a drive it is that Milden has not only got himself back through the field, but ahead of his teammate, a very quick teammate who qualified ahead of him. Only 18 minutes left to go. That's nearly an hour. Our racers have been out on track. Pit stops all done and dusted. McMillan's in the chat. Has Dexter been taken out yet? Not yet. Not yet. Obviously, if it gets to within 5 minutes of the end of the race, then we send out the safety car.
I think that Scorpion Hun, he's one of the stewards here at One Hub Racing.
Okay.
If now you said that, it's your fault, mate. If Dexter gets taken out now.
Yes, it is. Yeah, definitely. That's you thrown right under the bus. Oh, and I tell you what, Floppy Fox is making short work of this gap between him and Connor.
Yeah, he is.
He really is. After such a great qualification, we do know he's got pace here. Obviously, he qualified in the front row of the grid. The only man that out-qualified him was Carmentalist. And he led Carmentalist a merry dance for a big chunk of the start of the race. Art Connor's been involved in a lot of great driving here as well today. But it is Floppy Fox that is now pressing. He's got 17 minutes left to do his work. Here's Dex in the background as well. He will still be loitering with tentatively over the chicane, this time for the Aston Martin. And that really is telling me the gap closing into chicane number 2, the Bentley closing up. And yeah, you can see the difference between him and his curb. Oh, the Bentley, a bit of sideways. Round to the right-hander.
Surely not.
Surely
not, Floppy Fox. Oh no, he wasn't going to go for the move there.
I thought, yeah, he took the defensive line there. Aston Martin took the clever line there. It's really difficult to be the one on the outside making the overtake in the hairpin. So he kind of forced the issue there. Said to Floppy, well, if you wanted to make the overtake, you're going to have to go the long way. Floppy just falling back into line. Oh, that's a bit much curb there on the way in and out. But wow, look at the way he makes that stick. The back of that Bentley is just absolutely glued to the ground with the bounce over those curbs sometimes.
It is, I have to say, Floppy Fox doing a great job to even close in even a little bit more. He's a few 100s better than his previous best so far. He's done 38 laps of this race already. So let's see if he could maybe force Connor into a mistake, or maybe he can just try and go for the cheeky send up the inside, and that will do the job done nicely. And they're going to probably pass some lap cars very, very soon, so they've got to be careful about that. Haven't talked much about Flying Foam and Carmentalist this race, because those two haven't put a foot wrong for the whole race. They stayed P1 and P2 respectively, and they've been having clear air as well. And, you know, Flying Foam, I have to say, could be in the running for getting a top 3 in the championship if he gets a podium here today, which will be very good indeed.
Yeah, really well. Really well. Some of these drivers are going to be picking up some very, very, very handy points indeed. Floppy Fox is trying to improve that points haul at Connor. So close to a podium finish. He's now got to battle his way to hold on to 5th, Cool in 4th, Milden 3rd, Flying Foam. Said he wasn't overly happy with his car choice. He certainly made it work for him. Oh, just as I say that. Oh, I tell you what, Flying Foam's just hit the exit of that first chicane.
Oh, did we just jinx him?
I think I just jinxed him by watching him there. I'm just having a run.
No, I think we both jinxed him. We both jinxed him there.
He's just got some serious hang time there. I think it's Cablo. Yeah, Cablo is just ahead of him then.
I did say the traffic would come back to bite people.
Yeah, I really think it has. I really, really think it has.
I hope he hasn't got damage. I don't think he has, though.
No, he just got airborne. He sort of, up in the air, all 4 wheels up, and then landed all 4 wheels at the same time, bounced and went on. So he got himself a bit of gravel on his tyres and a bit of hang time there, some extra XP on his Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. But certainly not going to do that lap time any good at all. But with 13 minutes to go, he's certainly looking like that 2nd position is his all done and dusted. It's going to take a Herculean effort, you would guesstimate, from Milden to close the gap on Frome. But this is Zolder, you never know, 13 minutes, anything could happen. Cool now, 3 seconds off his teammate Milden. Connor and Floppy Fox still dueling it out for 5th position.
Could have been for 3rd for both of them.
Yeah, it really could have been. I know, yeah. Floppy Fox should be battling for 1st. Oh, he's run wide in turn 1, so neither of these cars looking very happy at the moment as that corner runs a bit wide in turn 2. No place near the apex. Gets the curb on the exit to turn 3, no problem. He's followed by Floppy Fox with a mirror effort into the corner. Turn 4, where we've seen positions swap all night. Bentley with a much better exit then, so he's going to close ever so slightly. Oh, and the Aston Martin, I tell you, they really are getting brave over that chicane. I tell you, I do not touch either of those curbs.
I don't. I just die.
Yeah, seriously, that's insane. It's insane. I definitely just cruise my way up right through the middle. Car Mentalist though, he is absolutely flying. We've hardly seen him during the race. Apart from when he was overtaken right at the start, he then retook the lead after the mistake by Indigo Lime's Floppy Fox. And he's Bentley, and it's the McLaren driver that has, he's got 2 hands, or 1.5 hands on that championship. As we say, Milden's going to do everything he can to make it as uncomfortable as possible for Car Mentalist at the top of the table. All Car Mentalist could do was win, and that is exactly what he has done once again. 3rd win on the bounce.
Wow. Which
is some going given this field, and it is an impressive lead as well. He's got the 25 seconds. It's the gap the McLaren driver has over his Lamborghini counterpart Flying Frome, and if Milden wants to get the overtake done on Frome, it really is going to be a big ask. 16 seconds to catch up in 11 minutes with some blue flag traffic to get through. That could just be a bit too much. So the last week it will be decided on the last week. By the looks of it, Monza will be where the honours are handed out, but for all intents and purposes, Car Mentalist is our champion-elect at the moment. Another flawless drive from him. Pole position, more than likely going to take quickest lap of the race as well. And looking very comfortable for the win. He's got Gunnar Gamble just ahead of him in 10th that he's about to lap. So he really is carving his way back through the field.
Cam's back in this race. 22 laps down, but he's back in this race.
Ah, there we go. Cam is back in as well. And
fair play to him. Fair play.
Yeah. Bring it home. See the checkered flag.
Because he'll still be in the running for the ERT Go and Get Stuff award.
Oh yeah.
We haven't mentioned the sponsors at all this stream.
Yeah, you know what? I did actually think about that briefly just as the race was starting, but then I thought, nope, the race was starting. We might as well just crack on with the action. But yeah, apologies, sponsors. It's my fault. You can blame me.
And you can blame me as well. We'll do that at the end. How about that?
Yes. Yeah, we'll have a quick run through the sponsors as we're waiting on the drivers to pop in for the driver interviews.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah.
9 minutes to go.
Floppy Fox is still pressing the issue with Art Corner. Got very close in the 2nd chicane then. 43 laps in. Track temperature has been reasonably mild, I'll tell ya. He still wants that 5th position. He'll definitely be disappointed, as I said, to qualify in 2nd place as he did. 1 minute 28.7 in qualifying he did. In fact, 3 drivers. It was SOP Cool who joined Floppy Fox and Car Mentalist with a sub 1 minute 29 lap. Flying Frome with a 29 flat as well. So it just goes to show he definitely had pedigree around this track as well. But it is Floppy, after a couple of little mistakes, has found himself back down in 5th in Art Corner. Well, he has battled for this position. He has battled for every single point he's going to collect today, so he's not keen on giving that one up. Still 8 minutes to go though. And it is the Bentley on the Aston. Bentley versus Aston here in Belgium. Oh, look how much he closes the gap. Again, turn number 3. Just seems to have that Bentley much quicker. Oh!
That could have been a lot worse indeed for Floppy Fox.
Oh yeah, that is yeah, very, 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 very lucky there for the Fox.
Jesus!
I think we might have to rename him. I think we might have to rename him a more feline. I think because he's definitely living the cat's 9 lives there.
Yeah, which is a feline that jumps.
Yeah, a cat that jumps. Yeah, that's exactly what we need because any cat.
A jump cat. I don't know.
Yeah, lynxes or something like that. But yeah, he was definitely living his 9 lives there. That's for absolutely sure. All 4 wheels off the tarmac. It's never the quickest way to get a car through a chicane. But he did manage to keep it on track. Fair play to him. But that will be music to the eyes of Connor, who's now got himself a 2nd gap back. So Floppy's going to have to rebuild this attack once again. Try and close this gap methodically over the next 7 minutes. So that's an hour and 8 minutes gone, only 7 left to go. And I tell you, the ball is definitely in Connor's court here, so hang on to that 5th position. Quick rundown then, as Jess said, Cam, come on, he's back out on track, he's in 14th, he's still a few laps down on H Racing Green. He's in 13th, unfortunately neither of them will score points as it's the top 12 that get themselves points. So it's Gazaman who is in 12th, with Cablo in 11th, Gunnar Gamble's running in 10th with Blue Mosquito in 9th, Polish Town's 8th, we've got Dexter in 7th, Floppy is in 6th, Art Connor is in 5th, and then it is the top 4, SOP Cool, SOP Milden, Flying From, and Car Mentalist. Milden has closed the gap slightly on Flying From, but it's not an easy one to say, is it?
I know, it's not.
He's only closed 3 seconds in the last 12 minutes. So, yeah, that is nowhere near quick enough to close the gap on From, but the Lamborghini driver certainly more than worth this podium finish after a great drive. So one little mistake that he made through the chicane, and he's now going no place near those curbs. He's determined to get himself home and get himself on the podium. It really will be a great result for Flying From. Milden though is the man trying to keep the championship alive. It's all going to go down to Monza. Floppy Fox is still trying to close on Art Corner. Dex is very comfortably going to hold on to that 7th position, which is great to see for the Ferrari driver. But yeah, the closest thing we've got to a battle at the moment. Oh, and we've got Cam Comon's gone off. And we've got someone else going off there as well. I think that was Cablo perhaps just quickly getting out of the way of Floppy Fox and Art Corner. These two the closest still. Battling out for a position with less than 5 to go now. Floppy got himself back into 5th. Or will Connor and Aston Martin hold on and get himself a well-deserved position? He'll certainly be looking to salvage as many points as he can after making that mistake in turn 1 and dropping a podium spot. He got himself 5th last week around the Hungaroring. Can he repeat that? In fact, he got 5th last week and Floppy Fox got 6th last week. So they're running in the same order they did last week. And they're almost as close as they were last week as well. So yeah, this has turned into a bit of a mid-table battle between these two, and it's Connor that's got the upper hand at the moment. With less than 4 minutes to go, Jess. And I tell ya, Car Mentalist once again. Oh! That's going to be a huge slap on the wrist as he's coming through that chicane. I wonder how many penalties he's already got. He's going to really need to be careful. The last thing you want to do is get a track limits penalty with only 3 laps left on the clock.
You do not want to be getting a penalty at all towards the end.
Definitely not.
You just don't. We haven't seen any stop-go penalties this week, so fair play to everybody. I think we've just been merely getting drive-throughs for track limits, which you have to serve within 3 laps. So please, guys, keep it clean for the final few laps, and you should be fine.
Yeah, well, that's why Floppy Fox is down where he is, isn't it? He got that track limits penalty.
Yeah, he did. He got that drive-through penalty. Just hope he does not get another one.
Yeah, he definitely needs to keep it clean. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, as they say. And I would definitely say it is worth just hanging in there for Floppy Fox. 6th place is still a very good finish in this league. 2 minutes left to go. And Car Mentalist has just gotten himself past Blue Mosquito, our 9th place driver. So he is going to lap close to half the field, such is the pace that he's showing at the moment.
Floppy Fox, 3 tenths on Connor now. And don't go through that bump, please, Floppy Fox. Oh my goodness, that was a close call again for Mr. Floppy Fox in the Bentley versus Connor in the Aston Martin. Luckily, Connor's not doing a Lance Stroll in Hungary. He is keeping the car controlled at the moment with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go on the clock. We will get a notification when the leader is on his final lap. So it may not be the penultimate lap for these drivers, for the ones on the lead lap anyway. So they've probably got 2 more laps to go for these 2 at least. That we're riding on board with Floppy Fox and Connor. Kull is riding on his own, same with Milden as well. So many cars that can't enter this lap, it's ridiculous right now. But there's no fastest lap point in ACC, just a comeback point. And I'm sure that our results gurus in the background will be doing maths to be sure who has got the comeback points. We've done 48 laps of this race already. That's how long this race has been. Leader is on the final lap.
Yes, he is. Car Mentalist crosses the line to start his final run around the 2.5 miles here in Belgium. 50 laps will be the tariff for the race, and it is going to give him a fairly firm grip on the championship. His closest rival Milden is going to join him on the podium, but it is going to give clear daylight going into the last race for the championship leading Car Mentalist, tightening his grip, as I say, on that trophy. He's coming into sector 2 now through the 2nd chicane. The timer has run its course. This will indeed be the last lap for Car Mentalist. A couple of cars just ahead of him who will have to complete another lap, so they'll still be able to finish on the lead lap. Car Mentalist very quickly dispatching the middle chicane, comes into the hairpin in the McLaren, looking as flat and as balanced and as fresh as if they were lap 2 tyres themselves. It is Car Mentalist, a 3rd victory on the bounce. We did think it was going to be touch and go as Milden won the first race of the season. Car Mentalist came fighting straight back. He's taken pole positions in qualifying, and he's taken the top step on the podium ever since. There we go, lap number 50, checkered flag, and it is the McLaren driving Car Mentalist that extends his lead and puts that 2nd hand on the trophy. One Hub's ACC inaugural season champion elect. It is Car
Not
Mentalist.
yet. Not yet.
Oh, well, champion-elect means that he's in the driving seat.
Ah, right,
That's
okay.
what the word elect at the ends means.
Flying
so, yeah,
Throne
so he's
celebrating. He's weaving. He's got his best result of the season with a whopping second place. I get a bravo from him, my friend. But Dexter did a great comeback last week. Milden, take a bow. He's done a brilliant comeback this week. Third place for the championship contender. And that does mean that we got a two-way fight now for the championship. Everybody else is eliminated due to Car Mentalist finishing first. It's between SOP Milden and Car Mentalist for the championship. Now calling fourth, Connor finished the race in fifth, Floppy Fox sixth, Dexter seventh, Pwnage Town will come across the line in eighth. He'll be the last person to cross the line. There'll be Blue Mosquito, Schooner Gamble, Kabler and Gazaman in the finishes in the points. And then we got Cam Kamum and H Racing Green in 14th position. H Racing Green being your only retirement.
Yes, indeed. What a race that was. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Absolutely flown through. Car Mentalist took pole position. Floppy Fox took second position in qualifying. He took first position mere seconds into the race. That wasn't till the track limits violation. So I'll come into the pits to serve a drive-through. He dropped back through the field and gave Car Mentalist the lead of the race. Dex tried to make the early undercut work for him and he got himself back up to 7th position. Milden with the early contact, Cool with the early mistake. Both of those drivers carving their way back through the field for very, very solid 3rd and 4th place finishes. Connor with a 5th, and Floppy Fox fighting back to finish in 6th. There we go, had 3 warnings in 15 minutes. Wow, sorry, Floppy's in the chat. He's just saying there he got 3 warnings in the first 15 minutes of the race, so it was just a matter of time.
Floppy Fox!
Yeah, that really is pushing your luck with the in-game stewards, my friend. They are not lenient in the slightest. So yeah, that is a bit of a sore one there. But he is, of course, saying congrats to the top 3. It was indeed a great race, and yeah, it definitely was a great race, yes. But Car Mentalist just once again showing his class there, 36 seconds ahead of Flying From, and just, yeah, pretty much, I mean, even though he lost the lead of the race in the first turn, but still didn't put a foot wrong while he was in second, and he was there when his competitors made a mistake, and he's brought himself home another race win, 3 in a row. Phenomenal stuff.
Indeed, and we've got quite a few things to discuss before we invite our top 3 for interviews. First of all, Driver of the Day nominations. I went first last week. John, it's your turn this week. Who is your Driver of the Day? What would you like to ask him? You don't know, do you?
No, I don't. It's a really tough one. I think I'd like to make... I'm going to nominate Connor. Yeah, I'm going to nominate Art Connor as my Driver of the Day, and I'd like to ask him which was more stressful. The battle when you were behind Dex and H Racing Green, or the pressure being applied at the end by the SOP and then the Indigo Lime drivers.
I quite shocked that you didn't go for who I was thinking you would go for, to be honest.
Okay, and who did you think I was going to go for?
Oh, now you're making a decision even harder for me now.
For you, yep.
Because there's so many drivers that you could have put for Driver of the Day. Car Mentalist with that win. Well, he started on pole when to take the race win, but Milden spun earlier. He had contact with some other drivers, and he went all the way to P3. That's a comeback and a half. And he made 2 positions from where he started. So, sorry, Car Mentalist, you're not going to get my Driver of the Day nomination this week. I'm going to give it to Milden. And my question is, for one moment, did you think it was all over after you had that instant earlier on in the race? And did you think you were going to get that podium by the end of it? So that was my question for Milden. And speaking of Milden, he's in the box. Yes. Let's drag him in.
Yeah, go for it. There he is, the man himself, SOP Milden, championship protagonist pre-race, and still just by the skin of his teeth, hanging on in there to the championship fight after a quite remarkable comeback drive there to get himself back on the podium. Milden, how was that one for you? And remember, keep it nice and clean. It's before 10 o'clock.
Can't wait till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You can guess what I'm thinking, but it's kind of. I actually said it to Sean before the race that I thought I'd get hit by this person, and yeah, that's what happened. So, that's what happens though when you can't qualify like I can't very well, and then you just leave yourself open to stuff like that. So, it was one of those. Nothing you can do. You obviously made a mistake, and it happens.
Yeah, bit of contact. Yeah, because you did say last week you were looking to make an impact at this track. This was one that you were looking to make an impact at.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, qualifying didn't just not quite able to hook a lap up, or was that a representative qualifying time? Do you think? I mean, there was some decent times going in there. Those 28s were pretty solid.
Yeah, I think I could have gone a bit quicker, but it's the same thing I had with the AOR race that I did here. I qualified 12th there, but I actually did come through and win it. So I know my race pace was bang on. It was just a case of if I could get in the top 3 in qualifying, I knew I'd have a good chance in the race. But in the end, it was so close between like second to where I was, 5th, whatever, that it's just I couldn't show it today really until I got spun and I just had to come back through the pack. So
yeah, but that was some drive back through the pack. It has to be said. When you made, so who was it you made contact with? Sorry, because we missed the contact.
It was a McLaren. I think it was Gunnar Gamble.
Ah, okay.
Who I know quite well.
Yeah.
So Christmas card list is off. But we're both Arsenal fans, so I think we've been through enough pain this week. So
I was going to say, I won't do the joke about the CCTV, the training ground, and the only way you're going to get a nomination for goal of the month.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. You can drive quickly, I can joke quickly. We'll just stick with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that second stint, I mean, the racing gods did smile upon you somewhat. There was pressure that you applied to some drivers. You managed to get the move done on Cool when he made a mistake. So even though the first half of the race perhaps didn't quite go your way, it seemed to be towards the end of the race, maybe that rub of the green was heading slightly back in your direction. Yeah,
it was getting harder as the race went on because I pitted quite early to try and jump some people, plus I had to get my damage repaired. And I just, gave it hell really. And I know you can overtake on this track. Like I said, I managed to do it in AOR and stuff, but just frustrating because I really think I could have done something in this race, but the way it goes.
Indeed. Still in the championship hunt, that podium. I mean, you needed to finish 7th if Car Mentalist won to keep yourself into contention.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to be disheartened here, but all it takes is someone else to get caught up in an incident. Because let's face it, it is turn 1 at Monza next week.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, maybe I'll be the only car left on the track. But
you know what I mean? You
anything could happen.
Anything could happen. So realistically, you're still in the championship hunt. And we're going to see a fully fired up Milden for the Monza race next week.
Realistically not, but I will try. But,
no, that's the wrong answer.
Mathematically, see, as a Scotsman, I fully embrace mathematical possibilities because they're the only thing that gets us to major footballing tournaments.
Well, normally there's law of averages. So if I've had a bad race in this one, maybe I'll get good luck in the next one. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
You started off the season on a high. Maybe so you could end the season on a high. Who knows? But
Any questions for you, Jess?
Well, I think you kind of nicked all of them, so...
Sorry, I did jump in both feet, don't I?
It's fine, but yeah, because I was going to ask, are you going to get the dub ski in Monza?
Do what, sorry?
Are you going to get the win in Monza?
Yeah.
Yes, the right answer.
Yeah, that's what we like. That's what we like. It's fighting talk right there. Fighting talk right there. Good
I'm
to
not
hear.
going, by the way.
Well, as long as you keep battling and overtaking like that on track, Weldon, then you'll certainly be getting 2 thumbs up from all us here. That's for absolutely sure.
Cool just said in chat he would go like a wrecking ball into turn 1 at Monza.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen
You
some
might get a
wrecking
clearer
balls.
path. You might get a clearer path for me, and maybe that's SOP strategy. But I don't think
Yeah.
Simon would be pleased with that.
No.
No, he won't.
But
yeah,
anyway,
that would be fun.
well done to Carl Mantis again, stunning drive. Like I said, I would love to have been up there racing him, but just one of those things. And flying through him, well done. And sorry to Connor, because the time his car came back down, he had ice on it because he went so high up on the curb. So bless him. But I needed that position, so I felt sorry for him for like 2 corners.
Yeah.
Oh, fighting talk there.
That's the way.
No.
Isn't that the way? Inter-team bragging rights is just as important. It's
Yes,
just as important.
yes.
I'll be happy not to go 5 times in Monza. So there we go. But anyway, we shall let Milden go gather himself, get himself some practice in for Monza and all these other race events. Thank you once again for joining us. Congratulations on making your way back on the podium. A stunning drive despite the incident at the start there, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for doing the commentating as well. Stunning job as always.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you. There we go then. That is Milden, finished in 2nd position. Where should we go next, Jess? Oh, look at that.
Already ahead
of the game. That's why you're in charge and I'm just here dragging along. But it is, we have now been joined in the commentary box by the man who finished in 2nd position. Was saying in the previous interviews, wasn't overly enamoured with his choice of car in the Lamborghini, but certainly made it work tonight with a near flawless drive. Finishing on the podium once again, flying from. How was that one for you?
Hello. Quiet. I was just saying, I don't know what it is with this league. I don't think I've had one battle on track yet. I just find myself in these massive spaces, just driving around on my own. So yeah, just another really quiet one. I couldn't keep up with 2 guys in front. Pretty lucky that I think Floppy Fox got quite an early drive through. So I'm not sure if them 2 were battling or if we were just pushing too hard. So yeah, I kind of resigned myself to P3 really, and then luckily he got a drive through, so I managed to pick up P2. But other than that, really, just I didn't have the pace to catch Car Mentalist again, and the guys behind, I think again they were just doing a lot of battling, so it made my life a bit easier. I think I found myself in a nice quiet spot and just stayed there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was a bit of battling going on, but credit where credit's due. I kept an eye on it at the end. Milden did close the gap slightly, but it took him almost 15 minutes to close up 3 seconds.
Yeah, I think I was quite...
Yeah.
I don't mean this in a arrogant way, but I was just kind of chilling for the last 20 minutes because I was kind of in no man's land. And
yeah.
Did
you decide to chill just after you got airborne on the first chicane?
Oh, you didn't see that, did you?
I did. Nobody else did. I
did it a few times. It were awful. It's so unpredictable. You clip a curb, I don't know, because it's kind of demoralising because you see all, Mercs and Bentleys flying over these
cars,
curbs, and you just cannot touch them. Yeah.
No, you just can't touch them. I was saying that in during the broadcast. The difference in the way certain cars can and can't approach the curbs at a track like Zolder.
You lose a lot of time. But then I was just talking to Car Mentalist then while we were waiting, and he said he made a good point actually. In these cars, because you don't try to touch the curbs, you're not taking as much risk. Where like the Bentleys and stuff, you kind of need to attack the curbs around here, so you're running more of a risk of catching it wrong and crashing out. Yeah. So at least in our cars, it's kind of safe in a way because we just don't even try.
As a Ferrari driver, I can testify. I'm right there beside you.
That one's not great curbs either.
No. No. PTSD from the first time I tried to get the curbs on that first chicane. Honestly, I didn't know cars could go upside down on ACC. As far as your pit stop and that went, what was your deciding factor for your pit strategy? Because obviously qualifying, overtaking around here It's not an easy task to get it done. You did find yourself out in space. Was there any point in time you let your pit strategy be decided by what else was going out on track, or did you manage to, because you got yourself in the space, just stick to your original game plan?
Yeah, not really. I just did it exactly at halfway point. I mean, I think undercuts work quite well, like you say. It's so difficult to overtake anywhere on ACC, but especially at Zolder. But I just want. I was so far behind everyone in front and everyone behind that I could have pitted whenever I wanted. It didn't really make a
Didn't really
difference.
matter.
So yeah, just quiet race to P2, but it's in this league. There's that many fast drivers. I'm pretty chuffed with P2.
Oh yeah, but yeah, pretty chuffed would be an understatement if that was myself. We have the Cathedral of Speed next week. The championship is still on the line between Milden and Carmentalist, but that's certainly not going to have anything to deter the rest of the battles on track. Sorry. How do you feel your chances are at Monza itself? I mean, okay,
That was my question.
Oh, sorry. Tell you what, Jess, do you have any questions you would like to ask Amanda?
Well, you already asked it now. It's too late.
Stealing thunder since 1977. I do apologise. Yeah, how do you feel you're going to do it next week?
I've done it once at Lambo, I think, and I'm not entirely sure if it's good around there because I don't think it's slow in a straight line. So yeah, it should be okay. And there's a couple of curves, especially I think on way into Ascara is a bit sketchy in mid-engine cars. But yeah, other than that, I think it should go quite well around there. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, I think there might be a bit more overtaking. We'd like to think so anyway.
Yeah, there certainly should be. Hopefully get a slightly fuller grid as well to get the last week of the championship underway. Just before you go, sorry, Jess, do you have any more questions, or have I just jumped in and asked everything again?
Just jumped in. Actually, no, I've got one question since you're not in the championship hunt. Out of the two protagonists now, Car Mentalist and Milden, who do you think is going to be the inaugural ACC champion, and why?
I think Car Mentalist is going to be, it's just so difficult to beat. I think even when he's making mistakes, he's a second a lap faster than some of us. It's pretty. I think Milden's done a good job to even be
absolutely heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just demoralising. I was just saying to him, he made a couple of mistakes early on, and he kind of got my hopes up. He kept coming back towards me, and I thought, I've got him. And then, a sector later, he's pulled another second, and you just think, oh God, just go away. Stop rubbing it in. But no, I think Milden's done a really good job just to be close, but I think he's just got a pace advantage on most of us. So yeah, you've got to lean towards Car Mentalist, I think.
Yeah, that seems like definitely seems like a safe bet at this stage. 3 wins on the bounce for him. So, but not to take away from your own performance this evening, that Lamborghini. You said in the pre-race interviews that you weren't overly enamoured with it, but you're certainly making it work, and multiple trips onto the podium. That's your second podium now. Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Could we see a hat trick next week? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really looking forward to Hungary, to be honest, because it's a Lambo's dream. It's a lot of fast sweeping corners, and it goes really well around there. But not so much when it rains. So that was horrendous last week. But yeah, hopefully we'll see how it goes. But my aim were kind of top 4 5s. So yeah, I'm doing just about where I want to be, really. So pretty chuffed.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, yeah, been some great driving. As you say, you're third overall in the championship quite comfortably now. You've got a fair old grip on that position. So, yeah, you're definitely on for your top 5 ambitions for the season. But congratulations once again. Second in tonight's race, a second podium here in the series, and onwards and upwards to the final race at Monza.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. So, Jess, that leaves the man of the hour, our champion-elect. He's got one hand and a couple of fingers on the inaugural trophy with his third win on the bounce. Again, an absolutely flawless drive from start to finish with another pole position and a blistering drive there. Car Mentalist must be grinning ear to ear right about now after the way that race has unfolded?
Definitely with the result, yeah, but I'm not going to lie, I don't like Zolder at all. So while I was out in front, I wasn't really enjoying it that much. I was just too stressed that I was going to throw it away. So that was actually probably a lot more stressful than it looked.
Oh, we found your kryptonite and you were still 2 seconds quicker than me. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. But no, that's... so, yeah, thank you. Like, you took pole position. What happened to you on the start line? Did you not get a good start, or did Floppy Fox just get an absolute flyer? Because he took the lead of the race right into turn 1.
Yeah, it's that funny thing, isn't it? When you line up single file and then it will random, obviously without really any warning, it will cut to running at a 43 mile an hour speed limit for the start of the race. And I think I just took too long to get up to the 43 mile. I was too busy looking at trying to keep within the green, and then the 43 popped up and I was down to like 37. And Floppy was already at 43 by that time, so he was pretty much ahead of me before we got the race going anyway. So,
right, okay.
Yeah, and there's no point in me trying to leave it down the inside at turn 1 because there's not the room. And I'm not. If I'm in an argy-bargy battle with a Bentley, I am not going to win. So I'm not going to take the risk.
Yeah, there is an ever so slight size difference between a Bentley and the McLaren. That is for absolutely sure. Floppy seemed to run away with it at the start of the first stint. And then just as you started closing in and applying pressure, you came up against a back marker. I believe it was Gunnar Gamble who was involved in the early incident with Milden that took him way back down the field. Floppy got himself a drive-through. At that point, you couldn't believe your luck, surely.
Yeah, I was really surprised actually that he managed to get a drive-through. Although I was talking to Froome about it just a little bit before we both jumped in here, but I could notice he was taking quite a lot of liberties with the curbs, because I was pretty much faster than... Well, I had a couple of errors where I kind of just bottomed out on a curb and lost the rear of the car, and I would drop back to about 4 seconds behind. And I could catch him fairly easily, but then I'd just kind of sit about 1.5 seconds behind because I didn't want to lose my reference points. And while I was sat there, I noticed that I was faster than him pretty much everywhere, apart from that first chicane. And turn 1, and he was really taking a lot of liberties with the curbs at turn 1 and at the chicane as well. Obviously, he can be aggressive because he's in a Bentley, but it was extremely aggressive over some of the curbs, and I think that caught him out. So, yeah, surprised that he got the penalty in the end, and I'm also equally surprised that literally no one else got one.
Well, yeah, that was a couple of questions down the line, actually, because I was going to go back to something. Just, again, something that must have surprised you. Your main championship protagonist, he won race 1. He's joined you on the podium every time you've won a race. SOP Milden only qualified in 5th and then got himself involved in that early incident. So, were you aware that he had dropped so far down? Because he would have been within your timing board when the race started, but then were you aware of the fact that he dropped so far down the field, or were you just concentrated on the battle that you had ahead with Floppy Fox?
I was aware, yeah. I did see the incident in my rearview mirror, actually. I didn't see what quite happened, but I knew that it was Gunnar Gamble and Milden that were involved in it because, well, I saw the luminescent blue McLaren, and then, of course, obviously, the overlap in the timing tower in the bottom left of your screen, you can see who's running like last, basically, if you're in the lead. So I could see that Milden had dropped, which is it's a real shame. I was surprised that Milden only qualified 5th. I was expecting the Bentleys and the Mercs to be a bit faster than they were in qualifying.
Because of the curbs.
Yeah, I was expecting them to have a bit more of an advantage. And yeah, it's just a shame that Milden had that kind of race. He did a great comeback to get back to the podium. That was a really great comeback. It's just a shame that if this race is the reason why I end up winning the championship, it is kind of it's not the way I would want to win it over Milden, through Milden being taken out through no fault of his own. It is a shame for him. So I do feel sorry for him from that side of it. But yeah, really surprised that I ended up on pole in qualifying. Surprised that the McLaren, the Mercs and the Bentleys went ahead of me.
Surprised? You sure about that?
I mean, I said it last week and the week before. I'm not confident going into the next round because I don't know, and then it works out in my favour.
And then you win. So I think you should keep lower expectations every race, especially the final race, Monza. What do you think about Monza? Turn 1.
Oh god, I'm just going to flat out say it now. I hate Monza so much. It's going to be terrible for me. I'm not excited for it. It's not going to work.
No, you're going to win. You're going to win. Set it
in motion. But yeah, no. Monza turn 1, utterly terrified. Because if I'm at the front, I'm likely going to get rear-ended. If I'm in the middle, I'm going to get sandwiched. And if I'm at the back, there's going to be a 5-car wall that I'm going to be driving into. So it doesn't really matter where you are. It's going to be, well, hopefully it's not going to be, but usually it is pretty chaotic. But beyond turn 1, it should be fine. So from then on, it should be a bit better. And Monza as a whole, I enjoy Monza. I think it will probably be the most level playing field we've had the whole season. Just simply because there's only 11 corners I think in total, so there's not really the place that you can make those differences.
Monza is basically 3 braking zones and a couple of straights.
That's
really 11 corners. There's 3 braking zones and a couple of straights. That's
That's pretty much it. So I think Froome mentioned it as well. The mid-engine cars won't be amazing through Ascari and things like that. They'll be a bit unstable, but then we should have a bit more responsiveness through things like the Lesmos and the first chicanes. Our change of direction should be a bit better. And there's not the curb advantage there because the sausage curbs are so massive at Monza that you can't go anywhere near them no matter what car you're in. So it's going to be a really level playing field next time out. So I imagine it's going to be a pretty close one.
Yeah, it certainly will. We're certainly hoping for more close racing in here. There was some great battles right through the field. I mean, you were saying that there was a question I wanted to ask you about Milden. Yeah, so you were saying, it was not exactly what you wanted to see and not exactly how you wanted to win the race, but still, the competitor inside you, when you're going through turn 1 and you see your nearest rival disappearing and then you've got a battle for the first, did it feel like a bit of a weight was lifted? Did it make the rest of the race slightly easier knowing that you had that gap? And did you then feel any pressure building towards the end when you realised that Milden was making his way back through the field and charging back on the podium?
I will say definitely when the incident happened and I saw that it was Milden, there was definitely a weight lifted. I think after the first corner, my initial thought was, right, I've got to get past Floppy Fox as quickly as I can because I knew Milden would be close behind. But then when I realised he wasn't close behind, I realised I didn't really have to do anything silly. I was already beating my closest rival at that point, and Floppy Fox isn't in the championship fight. So the weight was lifted. I didn't need to take any risks. And then when I saw Milden coming back through, I was a little bit annoyed, if I'm completely honest. I was expecting him to be a bit further down, so that the points gap was a little bit bigger, but it wasn't. But I'm not surprised at the same time. I mean, this season, Milden's not put. Obviously, he's had that incident, but apart from obviously the incident that wasn't his fault, he's not put a foot wrong really this season. He's been really, really consistent, really solid. Every week he's come and been fast. So I'm not surprised to see him back up there, if a little annoyed that he wasn't a bit further down.
Yeah, a nice, slightly comfier gap going into the last race, I'm sure you would. But they genuinely, right, now we know, never mind the soothsaying and the naysaying, plan for the worst, hope for the best. Genuinely, going into Monza, the McLaren, as you said, it's going to be a bit sketchy on some of the curbs. How do you feel it's going to play out? Another 75-minute could be a bit of weather.
Oh, God. Oh, God, don't put that another level of jeopardy in.
Don't influence Dexter, John.
Me.
Turn 1, Monza in the wet. God, we got no hope. No one's making it to the end. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think it will definitely be a really, really fun race. I'll be lying if I said I didn't think I could win. I think I can win. I like Monza. The McLaren's a fast car in a straight line. I don't really have to compromise on aero setup to get straight line speed out of the McLaren. It's got a pretty good engine in the back of it anyway, so I don't have to make that compromise, which is good. That'll obviously help. And if it's wet, I enjoy the wet, and I've raced at Monza in the wet many a time. So
it's an amazing track in the rain.
Really, really amazing. I remember, I think the first ever online league race I did on ACC was a wet race at Monza in the Lexus, and it was just a really, really fun race, really enjoyable. So yeah, either way, I'm looking forward to it.
Good, and we certainly are too. Jess, is there anything I haven't asked our championship leader you would like to? No. Oh, that's pretty much been the theme of it. But you keep stealing my drivers of the day, so...
I didn't steal it this week. I was a good girl.
I went for a left fielder. I went for one out of left field. Art Connor, I think he deserved a wee shout out just because he was battling all the way through the field. But yeah, Carmentalist, once again... Congratulations, 3 wins from 4 races. The championship is well within your sights, and we cannot wait. I don't care about anybody else. I can't wait to see how this one ends next week at Monza. So congratulations, and we'll see you next week to decide the championship, my man.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you again, you two, for commentary. It's the unsung heroes of the league. You two are. So yeah, thanks for doing that.
Because you mean it. Thank you. How not to take a compliment, ladies and gentlemen. You learn something on this stream every single day. And sometimes it's just slightly out of left field. But there we go. So that was Carmentalist. He has absolutely run away with this one. He is very firmly in the driving seat to take home the inaugural championship. I'll tell you what we should quickly do, actually, Jess. You want to give the sponsors a shout out?
Yeah, we forgot. I actually need to get my notes back up. I was laughing so much.
You've still got mine. Would you like me to bring them up? I could do that.
Oh, yeah, you haven't done it, have you?
I haven't done the sponsors.
Go on, over to you.
Over to me. So, we do, of course, are sponsored by quite a few companies. Where have they gone? Sponsor, of course, Next Level Racing. They sponsor the league. They provide the DD stand to the driver who gets the most driver of the days in F1. We've got 3M Sim Racing, who sponsors the league, providing a pair of their sim racing gloves. I don't have a pair of sim racing gloves. Nudge, wink, wink. We've also got partners. Vespertine. We're partnered with Vespertine, who sponsor and support our championship prizes. And, of course, their ERT, Dex, Dexter, and the gang. They partner in the Going Get Tough Award, which is here for the ACC League as well.
Bravo.
All you have to do is complete all your media day stuff, and if you're outside the top 3 and you attend every race, you're in with a shout at getting that. And of course, the Mental Health Foundation as well. Remember, it's good to talk, so do it. And that is our sponsors, Jess.
I think you did a good job. You did better than me.
Oh, come on,
you should do it every week.
I like the way you did that. That was very smooth. That was slipping with a compliment and then hand over my work. But no, that's fine. We'll toss a coin for it next week. We'll see.
Yeah, or we could both say it next week. How about that? Hopefully we won't forget next time, because we almost got again towards the end there. But final race next week.
And Floppy Fox for being so good at racing. It's their fault.
Yeah, final race next week. Sad times. I kind of wish it was not the final race.
Indeed.
But it's the final race.
Another 4 weeks, because they've not been to Bathurst. We've still got Kyalami, Zandvoort. I mean, come on, people. Come on.
And the British GT tracks as well.
There we go.
Snetterton, Brands Hatch, Donington.
Donington.
You know, you name it. But anyway, we're going to Monza next week, which we've seen in one of the trial events on One Hub Racing. It was a classic last time. Hopefully we'll have a much fuller grid next week to help us decide who's going to be our inaugural ACC champion. Will it be Carmentalist? Will it be Milden? Let us know on Twitter. At One Hub Racing is our Twitter handle. Get involved in the discussion. Give us a follow. You can also follow us on Instagram at One Hub Racing. twitch.tv/1HubRacing. You on there now, unless you're watching this back, of course. If you're not, if you are watching this back, twitch.tv/1HubRacing, give us a follow. Join our Discord as well. That'll be much appreciated. You can get involved in the latest things. And our next stream on this channel and on YouTube is on Friday for the very first round of season 19. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Make sure you tune in. It's be the 31st race in a while where I'll be missing it because I'll be away. So, which is good because I hate Australia. But at least I still get to watch it.
Retreat.
I still get to watch it on the hotel, which is very good. But we'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening, ladies and gentlemen. So it's goodbye from me.
And it is goodbye from me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.